It is a peaceful spring day in the household of the Anderson family, in Mount Airy, Maryland. The mother Violette, the father Bill, and the son William are all sitting down in the living room, with their pets. All of their voices are being drowned out by each other. William jumps out of his seat with anger, and roars in anger. Bill slaps William, and roars at William for no reason. Violette makes a bolt towards the kitchen as the chaos erupts. Then, Andy gets awoken from all the explosions of chaos. William grabs a pillow and hurls it at Violette as she runs away. Violette turns around and yeets a baseball at William. As it gains momentum, William ducks down and avoids getting hit. Then a window explodes as the baseball hits it. Bill roars at Violette for smashing a window. Violette ignores Bill and runs to the kitchen and rips open the cabinet doors. William grabs a metal rod and hurls it at the living room TV, but it misses and smashes into the wall. Bill is getting angrier and angrier, and he is about to explode in anger. William goes to the couch and throws the cushions everywhere. Violette rips open the final cabinet and finds the thing she was looking for. Bill is continuing to be a time bomb of anger. William then grabs a boxing glove and puts it on. Andy enters the room and has no idea what happened. They realize what happened and stop in their tracks. When Andy asks what is going on. But before Andy can say anything, Violette, Bill and William go back to raging and destruction mode. William puts the second glove on, and starts boxing the wall. Bill is seconds away from exploding in anger. Bill finally explodes in anger after being shot in the behind by Violette, who used a BB gun. Bill lets out a humongous roar, and next door the neighbors hear the commotion and call the police. Back in the Anderson household, William rips everything off the wall. Violette shoots the lights and causes them to explode. Will grabs a sledgehammer and slams it into the TV. Bill goes to get a chainsaw, and he then saws multiple things in half. Andy runs away for safety and hides in the shed outside. Back in the house, William goes to the backyard and gets the hose. He turns the water on, and starts spraying everything. Bill starts ripping their clothing into many pieces. As William starts to go back into the house with the hose, crashing sounds can be heard. William sees what is happening, and sees that Violette is throwing the furniture everywhere. Back upstairs, Bill starts punching holes into the drywall, and punches everything fragile. William enters the kitchen, and grabs every single china dish. He then starts hurling them towards the floor. After William destroys every dish, he goes over to the refrigerator, and rips the doors open. But out of nowhere, Violette grabs an axe and starts hitting the drywall. Bill grabs the internet router and runs upstairs to the second floor. He then gets out onto the roof via a window, and then hurls the router onto the pavement, causing it to crash into pieces. Bill then starts ripping roof shingles off the roof, and starts throwing them like it is raining roof shingles. Back in the house, William goes to the office and grabs a metal pole. Violette rips the front and back door off its hinges, and hurls them at the wall. William takes a step back and aims the metal pole to something specific. He then starts charging forward, and a huge boom sound is heard. Back upstairs, Bill has finished ripping the shingles off, so he goes to everyone's room and starts yeeting everything out of a window. Violette goes to the sink, and starts to tear the faucet off of the counter. Back downstairs in the office there is a monitor with a huge hole in it caused by William and the metal pole. The monitor is so severely damaged that it starts to smoke. Violette decides to head to the bathroom with some bricks, and she is going to hurl the bricks into the laundry machines to destroy them. She puts the bricks into the washing machine and drying machine, and turns them on, and runs. Violette hears the sounds of the machines exploding and breaking on themselves, and goes somewhere to do something special. Bill is ripping and throwing the clothes, as William runs at him at full speed, and Bill tumbles down screaming at William. Then Bill slaps him across the cheek, causing a red mark to appear on his cheek. William lets out a loud whining sound, and gets a knuckle sandwich from Bill. William runs away, as Bill continues to rip the clothes. Violette throws toilet paper into the toilet and causes it to explode. William lifts up the TV and hurls it at the wall. Bill finishes ripping the clothes, then he starts to rip apart the bed sheets and pillowcases. Violette comes upstairs and drags the mattresses outside to be burnt. Then they start bringing everything outside to the pool. Bill grabs an axe and rips a hole in the liner, causing the pool to explode, and flood the backyard, drowning everything in the yard. They then drag everything they destroyed and throw into their cars. Violette and Bill gets into their truck and car, and William gets into Violette's car. They drive onto the middle of a desert-like stretch of land, and dump everything onto the ground. They then get their gallons of lighter fluid, and light the broken pile of stuff on fire. They squirt lighter fluid onto the fire to make much larger. Then they celebrate in triumph as they watch the fire burn from their cars, destroying everything they own. As the fire continues to burn through the night, the family makes s'mores, and create campfire songs. Just then, shortly after 2 a.m. the fire extinguishes itself after 7 hours of burning. Then they celebrate that they burnt everything. When they return home, they examine the extent of what they did. They head to sleep wherever they can find someplace comfortable. In the morning they go out to the furniture store and buy new furniture for the things they destroyed. Then they drive off to the local hardware store, and buy materials to repair the house. Violette goes food shopping, and the boys go home to start doing the repairs. Violette returns home with bags of food and clothes, and random things they need. The family start bringing the stuff in Violette got, and they start putting the food away and start fixing the house to be fixed. Bill grabs a chisel and starts breaking the drywall to make it easier to repair it. William goes with Violette to Goodwill to purchase some new clothes. Bill gets spackle and starts filling the holes. He then grabs sandpaper and starts smoothing the spackle to make it flush with the wall, so it can be painted later on. The family meet up in the living room, and are pleased with the progress they have made. It is about 10 p.m. when they head off to sleep for the night, before the next day where they will make insane progress repairing their house. In the morning, Bill immediately starts painting the walls, as Violette and William start making the beds. Bill finishes painting the walls, and he starts helping Violette. A little bit later they start bringing the furniture into the house. A few hours later, they have brought half of the furniture in the house, and they celebrate with a movie night. Then they start arguing over what movie to watch. They are about to start raging, and then out of nowhere Violette gets up and explodes in anger. Violette runs to her car, and Bill and William chase her. Violette gets into her car, and floors it. As Bill and William get into Bill's truck, some maniac floors it down the street. Bill is about to have a head-on collision with a maniac, but thankfully they don't collide and the mystery driver floors it even faster. Bill and William head out to their town, and attempt to find Violette. William sees a familiar car at McDonald's. Then the driver of the car proceeds to exit the car. Bill sees the car, and says it looks like Violette's car. Then the mystery person starts walking towards Bill's truck. William screams in fear, and Bill steps on the gas pedal. But they realize they have ran out of gas. The person is nearing the vehicle, and they soon are at the front of the truck. Bill and William run away as fast as they can and bolt towards their house. As soon as they arrive they lock the doors, and barricade them. A few hours go by, and Bill hears a mysterious knocking from the living room. William soon hears the same knocking sound too. They group up in the kitchen and slowly approach the living room. Then the knocking stops. A few minutes pass. Then it seems all peaceful. Then out of nowhere, large crashing sounds are being created. They are nearby. The origin of the sounds is the front door. Bill grabs his BB gun for defense, as the barricade starts to weaken. Then the person takes out a saw. Bill and William see the saw in the bottom of the door and they begin to run around in panic. Bill arms his BB gun and William starts to remove the barricade in the kitchen. A minute later William sneaks out the kitchen door. The stranger at the front door starts to saw the door down. Bill pushes the couch against the door as a barricade to prevent the door from opening. William sneaks to grab the garden hose and starts to sneak around the house to the front door. He then attaches the spray attachment to the hose and starts to spray the stranger. Then the stranger drops the saw and runs away from the house. A few seconds later Bill runs out to see what happened and William explains what happened. Bill tells William to follow him. They then go to a gas station and get a tank of gas. Then they return to McDonald's and fill Bill's truck up with gasoline. Bill and William hop into the truck and they celebrate with a snack from McDonald's. About 30 minutes later, William sees something familiar. Bill looks up and sees that the stranger has returned. They scream in panic as they drive away at full speed. They drive for 20 minutes and eventually return to the house. As soon as they enter the house they look at the living room and see the stranger. And the stranger tries talking to them. Before they can say anything Bill and William scare them away. Bill grabs his BB gun and threatens to shoot if the stranger doesn't leave the house immediately. The stranger runs away and hides around the block for safety. William is happy that they have won the battle yet again. The next day at 4 a.m., a mysterious bang erupts throughout the house, waking William and Bill up. They go downstairs and investigate what the noise was. Bill sees the stranger sleeping on the couch. William grabs an air horn and hits the trigger. This wakes up the stranger. Bill starts to remove the mask of the stranger to see who it really is. After revealing the mask, William and Bill see that the stranger really turned out to be Violette the entire time. Then Violette roars at William for spraying her with a hose. Bill intervenes and explains the situation. William explains it too about what happened. They decide to head back to sleep and forget this whole ordeal. In the morning Violette says that she got 3 plane tickets to the Philippine Islands and they will be going from Friday to Saturday. Bill and William erupt with excitement. Violette says that they are leaving for the airport at 3 p.m., and she states that they need to pack. William heads downstairs to the basement to get suitcases to pack for the trip. Bill gives everyone one suitcase. They head upstairs to their rooms and start packing for a weekend trip. An hour later the family reunited in the living room with their packed suitcases. William has secretly packed his Xbox in his suitcase. Violette checks everyone's suitcase. She opens up William's suitcase and finds his Xbox. Bill flips out in anger and yells at William for packing his Xbox. Violette tells him to put it back in his bedroom. He does so, and Violette is proud he didn't complain. William closes his suitcase. It is noon when Bill starts cooking burgers for lunch. William and Violette enjoy a nice lunch before the trip. A couple hours later the van pulls up. The family head to the van and put their suitcases into the trunk, and they load up into the van. As they drive to the airport William plays on his phone, Violette takes a nap. And Bill worries about how much money this trip will cost. They arrive at the airport and unload their suitcases, and they head on into the airport. They walk over to a self-check-in and scan their passports. Violette does the steps in order to check in. Once they have finished, they head over to where the suitcases are weighed. William sneakily snuck his PlayStation. After going through security with no problems, they venture throughout the airport to find their gate. Violette goes to get some lunch from a fast food restaurant and they dig into the meal. Bill devours him so fast that everyone starts seeing him. But he ignores them and continues to hoover his food. Violette says that there is 1.5 hours until they board the airplane. About 25 minutes later William sneaks off from the gate to order a massive meal. Another 7 minutes later he sneaks back to his seat undetected. Violette asks him where he was. He says that he was using the restroom. Violette gives in to the lie and continues to listen to her music. Bill takes a nap, and William uses his Nintendo Switch to play Minecraft. After some waiting they board the plane and find their seats. And they wait for takeoff. The second they start taxiing for takeoff, and William goes to the restroom. After he returns to his seat, William takes a nap in his chair. Violette pulls down her tray table and works on her laptop, while Bill continues to worry about how much the trip is going to be in dollars. About 20 minutes into their 15-hour trip they get served a snack. Violette and William grab a snack and Bill doesn't get one. William decides to turn on the mini TV and he flicks throughout the channel. Then Violette starts to do the same. William chose a movie, and he plugs his headphones and sits back to watch the movie. Violette finds a TV show to watch and she watches it with earbuds at max volume. Bill gets up and walks down the plane and back to stretch his legs. About 2.4 hours later, the flight attendants start taking dinner requests for the airplane's dinner time. After they get served dinner, Violette starts eating her beef burger while watching a Christmas movie. William eats his rice with beans, while watching Nickelodeon. Then Bill devours his meal in under 3 minutes. After Bill finished his meal he put a sleep mask on, and got an early start to bed. It is about 9 p.m. when Violette and William head to sleep. Violette turns off her TV, and goes to use the restroom. William shuts his eyes and gets some shut-eye. In the morning around 7 a.m., the family are all awake and are eating a healthy breakfast of pancakes and oatmeal. The pilot makes an announcement over the intercom saying that the destination is about 1 hour and 30 minutes away. Then an hour later Violette and William watch the plane descending to the airport. After they touch down they celebrate and congratulate the pilot. The family grab their carry-ons and walk off the plane and down the jet bridge to the airport of the Philippines. Then they start to walk over to the luggage pickup area. After a lot of walking the family arrives at the luggage pickup. Violette knows what suitcases are theirs because the color of the family's suitcase is bright yellow. After they get their luggage they go to a restaurant to get a quick bite before finding a rental car. They go to find customs, and once they get through customs, Violette looks around as Bill and William take in the gorgeous view of the Philippines. A few minutes later Violette finds a perfect rental car building. They walk over to it, and about 10 minutes later Bill has finished the paperwork that is required to rent a car. The family goes to find their rental car. Once they find it they put their suitcase into the trunk. Violette gets in the driver's seat and the family drive off to find the hotel they will be staying at for the next week. After driving for around 20 minutes, they start to see their hotel. Violette drives to the front entrance of the hotel. The family unloads and goes to find where they are going to check in. Bill goes to check in while William and Violette explore the hotel. Bill finishes checking in, and the family get back in the van. After finding a place to park, they go to an elevator and travel up to the top floor. Once they reach the 19th floor they go to room 1976. Violette takes the keycard and buzzes the door open. They get a single look at the room and scream in amazement. Bill flips out and slaps Violette for getting such an expensive room. They go into the room and decide what rooms they will be sleeping in. William unpacks his suitcase, and immediately plugs his Xbox and PlayStation into the TV in his bedroom. Violette starts to unpack her suitcase but she hears a strange yelling sound. Bill hears the same sound. They investigate what the strange noise is. It turns out that William is already raging on his Xbox. Violette roars at William for packing his Xbox and PlayStation. Bill says that it is no big deal and they are probably distributing the neighbors. Violette tells him he should be calm to not annoy the people next door. An hour later after everyone settles in and unpacked, the family get their swimsuits on. They head to the second floor and down a staircase. Violette finds a spot to put their stuff. Then they all put sunscreen on and William makes a running start and he jumps into the hotel's outdoor pool. William swims around as Violette and Bill go into the hot tub. About 23 minutes later Bill exits the hot tub and jumps into the pool, soaking Violette. Bill and William have a splash fight as Violette sneaks up on them. Bill grabs a squirt gun and sprays Violette, causing her to splash Bill with humongous waves. William swims away to relax. A couple hours later they take a break from the pool and have a nice lunch of soup and pizza. After lunch they pack up their stuff and take a trip down to the beach. After finding a place to sit and putting on more sunscreen, they lay in the sun for a couple hours taking a nap. Violette gets up to get some drinks and returns to find Bill and William have ran off to the ocean. Violette puts down the drinks at the cabana, and runs at full speed to the ocean. She plows into the ocean and dives straight in. As it becomes nighttime they get a large dinner of pie, cheeseburgers, soup, pizza, steak, hot dogs, root beer, and breadsticks. After finishing dinner it is about 9 p.m. So they head back up to their room and change into their PJs. They head to the living room and watch a movie till it becomes 11 o'clock. They head off to bed. In the morning at 7 a.m., William wakes up and goes on his Xbox to play a round of Fortnite, but quickly gets eliminated. After he gets eliminated he roars at his TV and rips his headset apart. Violette and Bill are quickly awoken and they rush over to William's room. They watch in shock and anger, as William throws his headset off the 19th floor. Violette snaps at William for throwing his headset out of the window. Bill goes to the kitchen and starts making a pancake breakfast. Then a couple minutes later there is a banging coming from the hotel entrance. Violette answers the door. It is the neighbors complaining about all the noise. Violette reassures them that everything is okay, and the situation has been dealt with. The neighbors then leave to return to their hotel room. Bill finishes making the pancake batter and he starts cooking the pancakes as William watches TV in his bedroom. After the pancakes are finished cooking Bill calls everyone to the dining room. Once Violette and William arrive, Bill distributes the pancakes and the family tuck into the delectable pancakes. William finishes his plate and goes back to play his PlayStation. Violette tells him to be quiet. She makes it clear that if he rages, Violette will be taking the Xbox and PlayStation, and hiding them until the trip is over. William ignores her, and he runs to his bedroom. Bill finishes his meal and he takes the plates back to the kitchen to be washed and loaded up into the dishwasher. Violette then goes to use her laptop to edit videos for the YouTube channel. William starts to yell and then a loud crashing sound is heard. Then more banging sounds can be heard coming from the front door and William's room. Bill goes to answer the front door, as Violette goes to William's room. Bill explains that they are investigating the situation. But the neighbors don't care, and barge into their hotel room. Bill follows them. The neighbors and Bill end up in William's room with Violette. They see William's PS4 is on the floor, and is starting to emit smoke. William turns on the TV, and they see that William has broken the TV. William ignores everyone as they all explode at William. Violette explodes like a volcano and roars so loudly at William that the management team gets called by several complaints from other guests staying at the hotel. When a manager gets there, William is seconds away from dropping the TV off the deck. Everyone is telling William to not let go of the TV. The manager reaches the deck, as William lets go of the TV. A few seconds later a huge crashing sound is heard. The TV smashed into the ground. Thankfully no one was injured. The manager says that Violette and Bill will need to pay for the damages. As the chaos erupts the neighbors run back to their hotel room. The tensions are very high and a single spark could cause an eruption of Bill, William, and Violette going into destruction mode. Then a couple minutes later, knock on the wall which causes the family to explode. They go to the couch and grab a pillow. They scream into the pillow as loud as possible, which calms them down. William returns to his room and gets his bathing suit on. Violette and Bill wait for William to finish so they can head to the airport. William throws his destroyed headset out of the window. Once he does that, he tells Violette that he is ready. The family leaves the room and head for the stairs. Violette and Bill get on the elevator, and William races them down the stairs. Violette wonders where William is, then she hears stomping noises coming. Bill grabs Violette and pulls her out of the way, as William bolts past them. Bill roars at William for almost running into Violette. The family hop into the rental van and they buckle up. Bill drives them to the airport and they find a place to park. Once they enter the airport, they try to find where they need to go. After checking in, they head to the tarmac and find their plane. William runs ahead of Violette. Bill follows them shortly behind. Violette gets on the plane, and the boys follow her to their seats. About an hour later, the plane starts taxiing to the runway. William looks out of the window with excitement as the plane sprints down the runway. And take off. The airplane takes off, and the family gets so excited. William sits back and looks out the window, as Violette patiently waits. Well, for Bill, he starts worrying about how the activity will cost. About 20 minutes later, they are given parachutes and told to put them on. Violette lines up and so do the boys. They put their parachutes on, and take a running start. Violette runs off the airplane and starts diving. Then William pushes Bill out of the airplane, but Bill was not ready to dive yet. William waits a minute before going. As they dive, William worries about getting scolded by Bill when he lands. William is about a mile above Bill, so William can just relax for now. Violette pulls the cord to deploy her parachute, then Bill does it. William continues to skydive, then he passes Violette and Bill. When he is about 5,000 feet above the ground, he deploys his parachute. His parents are about 15,000 feet above him as he deploys the parachute. As they continue to parachute down, William slows down to about 100 feet a minute. When he is 300 feet above the ground, he spots the landing spot. William is 15 minutes ahead of Violette and Bill from landing. As soon as he lands, he has to wait about 12 minutes before he sees Violette. Violette lands, and a couple minutes later Bill lands at the beach. Violette asks him why he is so frustrated. But Bill ignores her, and Bill goes running after William. About 15 minutes of chasing causes him to take a break. Bill catches up to him. Then William gets picked up by Bill, and dragged to the ocean. Bill then hurls William into the ocean, drenching him. And then Bill explodes at William for pushing him off the airplane. Bill is furious at William. After William gets scolded at by Bill, they return to Violette. Then the family walk back to the van. About 45 minutes of walking to the van causes the family to bond. William opens the door for Bill. Violette and William load up into the rear, as Bill drives them back to the hotel. Bill drives to the entrance of the hotel. Violette and William hop out. They head up to the elevator as Bill finds a place to park. Bill comes to the room a couple minutes after Violette and William have returned. The family order out from a restaurant. Bill goes to get the food, as William plays on his Nintendo Switch, and Violette does work for the YouTube channel. After Bill returns with the food, the family enjoys a huge lunch. After lunch they change into their swimsuits, and pack up their pool bag. They head over to the elevator, and ride it down to the first floor. Violette leads the family, but they are unable to find a cabana. So they grab a couple chairs to put their stuff down at. The family empty an entire can of sunscreen. Violette takes her time going to the pool. William tags Bill, and they start a game of tag. William runs as Bill chases him. They jump into the pool and play a game of tag. Bill and William play a game of tag for 30 minutes, then they sneak up on Violette. Bill splashes Violette from the back, as William splashes her from the front. Violette punches Bill in the face, and she slaps William across the behind. She then roars at them for doing that. Bill and William run away, as security arrive to take Violette out of the pool for her freak out. Bill and William play near the shallow end. An hour later, they apply more sunscreen, and have a drink to cool off. They head over to the beach, and they run and dive into the ocean. Violette returns about 30 minutes later to the beach to find William and Bill having an amusing time without Violette. Then Violette puts on some sunscreen, and runs into the ocean. 3 hours later the family dry off and head back up the elevator to the 19th floor. They go back to their hotel room to change into PJs. Bill makes a lasagna for dinner, and William lays on his bed using his temporary phone. About 30 minutes later the lasagna finishes cooking and the family tuck into a delicious dinner of garlic bread, lasagna and breadsticks. Bill takes everyone's plate, and washes them in the sink. Violette tells Bill that it is William's turn to load up the dishwasher. William becomes angry, and refuses to wash the dishes. Violette grabs William's arm, and drags his worthless behind to the sink full of dirty dishes. William rips open the dishwasher. He then grabs several dishes and smashes them to the floor. And he drops them into the dishwasher. Then he accidentally drops one on the floor. He then grabs every single dish in the sink and loads them up into the dishwasher messily. Violette quietly roars at him for doing the dishes incorrectly. William organizes the dishes. He then grabs the bottle of dish soap and unscrews the lid. Violette says that he can't do it. William ignores her, and pours the entire bottle of dish soap into the dishwasher. William closes the dishwasher, and starts the dishwasher. William pushes Violette into her room, and locks the door. About 20 minutes later, Violette bursts the door open, and she sees a waterfall of soap seeping out of the dishwasher. Violette opens the dishwasher. Then she screams in shock and anger. Violette marches over to William's room. She rips the door off its hinges. She then runs at William. Then she grabs his arm and squeezes it. William lets out a whine. Violette ignores his begging to be let out. She drags his useless behind to the kitchen, and demands he clean up the ocean of bubbles. William grabs the vacuum cleaner, and starts vacuuming up the bubble ocean. Violette grabs the vacuum cord, as it starts smoking. William continues vacuuming the bubbles as Violette rips the cord off the wall, which causes the vacuum to stop. William explodes in anger, and rips the vacuum hose in half. William grabs the vacuum cleaner and drags it onto the deck. William hurls the vacuum off the 19th floor, and it slams onto the deck of the 8th floor, and huge boom rings throughout the hotel. Violette slaps William for breaking more stuff that belonged to the hotel. Bill hears William crying and comes out to see what happened. He then explodes at Violette for the slap. Violette explains what happened, which causes Bill to roar at William like a volcano. The people next door call the manager. A couple minutes later the door ripped open. The manager runs in and yells at the family for disturbing the other guests. He then leaves, and the room has fallen silent. William opens the dishwasher, and grabs every single dish from it and washes the soap. Violette sees the true extent of the mess that William has created. She then becomes frustrated at William. Bill looks at the dishwasher and passes out at the mess. William and Violette lay Bill down on the couch, and Violette monitors Bill, as William returns to cleaning up the mess he made. About 2 hours later Bill finally regains consciousness. Violette freaks out in excitement and explains to Bill what happened. William finishes cleaning up the mess a few minutes after Bill has awoken. The family put their PJs on and head to bed around 12:30 a.m. Then 4 hours later, Violette and Bill are awoken by a strange noise. The noise was William raging at his Nintendo Switch. About 10 minutes later, the raging stops and the family drift back to sleep. A few hours later the family wake up. William immediately uses his Nintendo Switch, and starts raging. Bill gets up from his bed, and marches over to William's room. Bill grabs his Nintendo Switch. He then runs over to his bedroom, and locks the door. William becomes furious and rips the door off of its hinges. Violette then screams in panic as the door is ripped open. William demands that they go to the pool. Violette says they can go to the pool after the waffle breakfast they ordered. William's face brightens up, and he is excited. But he steals back his Nintendo Switch. Bill ignores him, and he goes to pick up the breakfast. William quietly watches videos on his phone while waiting for the waffle breakfast. About 17 minutes later, Bill returns with the waffle breakfast. The family divides the waffles evenly, and they tuck into a scrumptious breakfast of waffles. It takes them 5 minutes to eat it, then William volunteers to do the dishes. William actually does it correctly this time, and only puts in an ounce of dishwashing detergent. Violette rewards William by going to the pool for one last time. William is so excited to go to the pool that he changes into his swim costume in under 30 seconds, and he runs off in front of Violette and Bill. The family takes the elevator, but William runs down the stairs at the speed of sound. As he runs down he puts on 200 layers of sunscreen, and he rips his shirt off. On the 7th floor William takes his shoes off. He continues to run down faster and faster. William reaches the 2nd floor, and he rips the staircase door off of the hinges it was on. He then sees Violette and Bill has come down. William gives his stuff to Bill, and he runs faster and faster. And finally he cannonballs into the deep end. The splash caused by the cannonball is so large that it drenches Violette and Bill. Violette puts the stuff down at a cabana, and she puts on sunscreen, as Bill jumps into the water. Violette then goes over to the shallow end, and takes her time getting into the pool rather than jumping in like what William and Bill did. Violette plays tag with William while Bill does laps in the pool. As the day continues Bill does 50 laps in the pool. William goes to the hot tub, and dunks in it. He instantly regrets it, and jumps into the pool. Violette relaxes in the hot tub, as William plays in the pool, squirting Bill with a water squirter. At lunchtime the family dry off. They order a small lunch of pizza and burgers. As soon as they finish lunch, they head back up to the room. William opens the door for the family. He gets dressed into his normal daytime clothing. The family watches Nickelodeon for a couple hours. At 3 p.m. they start packing up because tomorrow they will be leaving back for home. The family pack up the clothes. And William packs up his Xbox and PlayStation 5. The family load the suitcases into the car. They then return the hotel room to watch Home Alone 1. After watching the movie, they go down to the van, and head out to find some place to eat for dinner. William sees an all-you-can-eat restaurant and suggests that they go there. Bill agrees, so does Violette. So they find a place to park, and walk over to the all-you-can-eat buffet. William runs ahead of the family. Violette and Bill slowly follow him. The family arrives at the buffet and gets served their beverages after getting a table to sit at. Bill runs up to the food, and grabs 7 plates. William grabs 2 plates. Violette grabs 1 plate. The family fill their plates with tons of food. William grabs his food, and starts eating. Bill returns to the table with 7 plates overflowing with various kinds of vegetables, fruits, desserts, dinners, appetizers, and so much more food. Bill eats everything on his 7 plates and he goes back up to the dessert table and returns with 3 plates overflowing with various kinds of cookies, cakes, brownies, crumble cakes, cupcakes, fried dough, and so much more dessert. William and Violette go up to the dessert table. They each get a plate, and Violette gets 2 items. But William fills an entire plate overflowing with desserts. Violette takes her time eating her desserts, while William demolishes his food in a matter of a couple minutes. The family finish up their meal, and wait for the check. A few minutes pass, and the waiter arrives with the check. Bill screams at the top of his lungs in terror, when seeing the total amount. William looks at the check, and laughs. The check cost over $100. Violette and William look over at Bill, who is crying. Bill pays for the check, and the family load back up into the van. They return to the hotel, and find the parking lot. They walk up the stairs, and go to their hotel room. Violette suggests that they go to the pool one last time before they leave to go home. William immediately changes into his swimsuit, and patiently waits for Violette. A few minutes later, William and Violette are walking down to the pool. They take the elevator to the 1st floor, and walk up a path leading to the pool. They find a cabana. Then put their stuff down, and they put on a little bit of sunscreen. William and Violette go into the hot tub for 30 minutes to relax. After they use the hot tub, they jump into the pool. Violette splashes William with a huge wave. But she gets splashed back in return for it. The two swim around the pool until 9 o'clock, because that's when the pool closes for the night. As they dry off, security comes and tells them that they are trespassing. Violette explains that they were just packing up, and they would be leaving in a couple minutes. Violette and William leave the pool, and they head back up to the hotel room. They change into their pajamas, and the family watch some Simpsons episode until midnight, then they decide to hit the hay. In the morning at 9 a.m., the family wakes up and get ready to start packing up. Violette packs up the bathroom stuff, Bill packs up the used clothes, and William packs up the food. The family rush around the hotel, trying to pack up before the checkout time. Bill takes an empty suitcase, and fills it with stuff from the hotel room he will be stealing and smuggling onto the airplane ride home. William finishes his packing, and helps Violette with the shower soaps. After packing up, the family eats a small lunch, and watches some television until they need to leave the room to check out. Violette demands that they watch Stranger Things. But Bill and William decided they wanted to watch Paw Patrol. The family argue and their voices keep getting louder and louder. Until William explodes, and he rips the TV off the wall and throws it out of the window. Bill runs over to the dishwasher and drags it to the deck, and yeets it off the deck, and it crashes onto the roof of the 7th floor. Violette grabs the dishes and starts smashing them onto the floor. Meanwhile, Bill and William go to the bedroom and start ripping apart the bed sheets, blankets and pillows. William grabs the shower nozzle, and rips it off the wall, causing the shower to spray everywhere. The people across from their hotel room decide to call the managers and police. A few minutes later, the manager and police arrive at their hotel room, and the family stop right in their tracks. Violette tries explaining why the hotel room is a gigantic mess. The manager doesn't believe the lie. However, before the police can do anything, the family start grabbing everything from the hotel room, and they start hurling everything off the hotel deck, where it all crashes into the 7th floor roof. By the time they are done, there is nothing left but their suitcases, and a broken mess of shattered dishes, feathers, water, and an ocean of soap on the floor. The family run away and run down the stairs as fast as they can. They load up into their van with their suitcases and they check out in a matter of minutes. Then Bill drives at 100 miles per hour to the rental car company, and returns the car. The family run into the airport and do the self-check-in. Then after check-in they run like cheaters to the luggage drop-off area. They give the person at the desk their luggage and they run off to security. The police arrive at the airport and see them running to security. Violette passes safely, then the boys pass through security without any trouble. The family find their gate and catch their breath. A few hours go by, as William plays on his Nintendo Switch, Violette edits the vacation video and Bill takes a nap. The family patiently wait for the boarding. Violette gets everyone a snack from McDonald's before the flight. Then everyone uses the potty before the boarding starts. As soon as they are about to board, William packs up his Nintendo Switch, and the family board onto the flight and find their seats. William sits in the window seat, Violette sits in the middle row, and Bill sits in the aisle seat. They put their backpacks under the seat in front of them. Violette watches Home Alone on her phone. As Bill relaxes and watches the flight depart from the taxi strip. As the plane taxis to the runway, William looks out of the window. He watches, as the flight arrives at the runway. Then a few seconds later, the family jerk back into their seats and the flight bolts down the runway faster and faster. Then the plane takes off. William watches the flight map for an hour, then watches Max and Ruby on the mini TV. As the hours pass on, the flight attendants give everyone their lunches. Violette and William are forced to sit in embarrassment as Bill wolfs down his food in a matter of seconds. Violette and William take their time eating their meals. Bill goes off to sleep for the rest of the trip, while William watches Nickelodeon, and Violette edits the vacation videos for their YouTube channel. Several hours later, the dinners are served, and Bill doesn't have one since he is sleeping. William eats his meal, and Violette savors her meal. It is about 9 p.m. when they finish their meal. The family head off to sleep. And in the morning they wake up to realize the flight is already over. The family congratulate the pilots and flight attendants. Then they grab their belongings and head over to the jet bridge, and venture over to the luggage pickup. They all collect their purple suitcases, and the family load up into the ride that they ordered for a drive home. The ride takes them home, and the family discusses what they will do now that they have returned to home. As soon as they arrive at home, the family plan to prepare for a party for someone special. The family go upstairs to their bedrooms, and start unpacking their belongings. They put clothes back into their dressers. Violette starts washing the dirty laundry. Bill unpacks the food. William unpacks the bathroom stuff. They continue to unpack, then William's cousin Andy knocks on the door. Bill opens the door, and announces to everyone that Andy has arrived. Andy finds William. Once he finds him, Andy gives William a humongous hug. Then Andy leaves to go to work. The family return to unpacking from the trip. They finish unpacking around 7 p.m., and Bill cooks a humongous dinner. The family enjoyed a large dinner, while watching Peppa Pig. Violette decides that she wants to watch SpongeBob SquarePants. But William wants to watch Max and Ruby. Meanwhile, Bill sneaks out to the kitchen. Violette chases after Bill, and shoots Bill in the behind. William runs into the kitchen, after hearing Bill crying. William comforts Bill and walks him over to sit down in his chair. Violette scolds William for helping Bill. William scolds Violette for shooting Bill. William sits with Bill, and takes care of his needs. A few hours go by, and Bill begins to feel a lot better. The family head to bed. In the morning they wake up at the crack of dawn, and prepare for a party. Violette goes out to the store to get party supplies. Once she returns, they all pitch in and help bring the bags into the house. The family empty the bags, and the preparation begins. William starts by hanging a sign in the front of the house. Violette and Bill inflate balloons. After William hangs up the sign, he returns inside, and helps by sweeping the floor, and tidying things up. Then William starts washing the dishes. Violette washes the walls, to make them look spotless. Meanwhile Bill starts to cook the food. As the time approaches noon, the family races around the house to make it look perfect for Andy's party. Then Lucy comes to the house, and helps finish the preparations. About 20 minutes later, the clock strikes noon, and everybody finds a hiding spot. The front door opens and they all jump up and yell surprise. Then William runs up to Andy and gives a big old hug. Then the family joined the hug. Violette goes to get some snacks, and Lucy chats with William about going back to school. The family dance to some tunes, and bougie out to the jams. As the day goes on, the family enjoy a large array of snacks including chips, sodas, finger food, and so much more junk. Andy dances with William, and Violette and Lucy dance together. Meanwhile, in the kitchen, Bill devours all of the snacks. The party rages on into the night, and the family split up. Andy and Lucy head home. Violette, William, and Bill head off to bed. In the morning at 7 a.m., Violette wakes up William, because today they are going back to school shopping. As soon as William wakes up, he is greeted by Violette. She has a discussion about back to school shopping. Violette waits for him downstairs in Bill's chair. She is examining William's bag and shows off what he has as his school supplies. He has a single folder that contains all of his papers. Violette digs through his backpack even deeper in the mess of a backpack. She pulls out his pencil case, which is just a plastic bag which is ripping apart and fixed with duct tape. Next, Violette shows off the massive tear on his backpack. William refused to get a new one because he has had that backpack since he was in the 2nd grade. William walks downstairs, when Violette says that she will get him food if he goes out to get school supplies. William immediately goes back upstairs and rejects the idea of getting new school supplies. Violette goes out to get school supplies without William. Once she gets back home from shopping, she orders William downstairs. William goes downstairs in frustration. Violette hands him the school supplies. Then William finds what Violette calls happy pencils. William rips one of the happy pencils, and Violette freaks out. William then hits Violette with a happy pencil, and then he goes back to breaking more happy pencils. Violette continues to rage at William for ripping the happy pencils. William goes through the supplies that Violette got. William throws everything on the floor, then picks it up after Violette demands that he clean it up. William drops everything in his bag, and walks outside. Violette follows him, and sees William is about to start a fire. Instead of doing anything, Violette stands there shouting William, in an attempt to stop him. William lights the backpack on fire, that he has had since 2nd grade. William goes crazy, and has a freak out, as he throws walnuts onto the burning backpack. Violette manages to put the fire out, and they head back inside to have a discussion. The discussion lasts for 30 minutes. Then Bill wakes up and gets ready for work. Once Bill gets downstairs, he sees that Violette just slapped William in the behind. Bill explodes at Violette. As Violette tries to explain, William sneaks back upstairs to his room to play Xbox. William starts raging, and Violette runs upstairs to his bedroom and demands that he stop raging. Bill turns off the internet, which causes William to smash his controller. William lets out a huge roar. He rips his door open, which causes the door to be ripped off of its hinges. Violette runs downstairs. She alerts Bill of what's happening. Then Bill gets pushed out of the way by William. Violette just stands there in utter shock and confusion. William then goes into the kitchen and grabs a towel. Violette asks what he is doing, as William storms towards the front door. She follows him, and he opens the door and exits the house, then slams it in her face. Violette continues to follow him, as they go towards the deck. William goes up the stairs of the deck, and gets something, then goes back down the stairs and goes somewhere. William walks over to Bill's car, and drops the things he has in the back row of seats. Violette is in utter confusion, then realizes what he is doing. She then tries to stop him, but fails. William is preparing to set fire to Bill's car, because Bill turned the internet off. Violette goes over to the front door, and tells Bill that he needs to come outside because William is doing something to his car. Bill doesn't come out. William starts to make the fire. When he grabs a bottle lighter fluid, Violette attempts to grab it from him, but she fails. William starts the fire and squirts the lighter fluid onto the fire. Violette sprints towards the front door, and yells for Bill to get out. As soon as Bill steps out of the house, he sees a fire has started in his car. Violette is running around panicking because there is a car on fire. Bill reacts to this by roaring at William in disbelief at what his son is doing. Bill runs to get the garden house and extinguishes the fire. Violette says that William's psychiatrist will be called. The family roar at each other and start arguing with each other for hours on end. Just then, as it hits 11 p.m., the family head inside, and they head off to sleep. In the morning at 6 a.m., William is woken up by Violette. William wakes up and roars at Violette about not going to school. Violette drags him out of bed. She then pulls him by the arm. As they go downstairs, they have an argument about why school is important. William gives in and gets ready for school. Violette is happy that he is going to the first school day of the school year. William brings his pencil case and his single folder because that is all he has for supplies, since he burned his other supplies. William waits outside of the house. Violette takes 15 minutes to get ready before leaving the house. William hops into Violette's car. As soon as Violette gets in, Violette says that she will be William's 12th grade English teacher. William screams at the top of his lungs. Violette slaps William in the face to make him shut. Violette drives the car to William's school. William and Violette walk in together to find their class. Once they arrive at the class, Violette unpacks her stuff and gets ready for the day. The school bell rings, and the class starts the school year. William is handed his schedule, and he sees that he has Violette's English class for every day, every period. William lets out a huge roar, and hurls his desk at Violette. Thankfully, the desk misses her. Violette orders him to the principal's office. Once William arrives at the principal's office, he grabs everything from the principal's desk, and shoves it all onto the floor. The principal roars at William. Then William runs away, and the principal is forced to call the superintendent. William continues to destroy everything he sees in the school. The superintendent arrives, and finds William on his rampage. Violette runs to find William, and punches him in the face. The superintendent roars at Violette and William for their behavior. Then Violette and William get dragged by the arm to the principal's office. Once they arrive at the office, Violette gets fired and William gets a 3-week suspension. William celebrates by taking out lighter fluid. Violette grabs it before William can do anything. Violette bolts away from William, but ends up being tackled by William. Then William grabs the lighter fluid and he grabs 5 books. William ends up lighting 5 books on fire. Violette extinguishes the book fire. The superintendent gives William in school suspension for 8 months. Violette calls Bill, and 20 minutes later Bill arrives at the school parking lot. Violette drags William from the arm. William begs that he doesn't get punished. Violette forces him into Bill's car, and Violette and Bill tie William to the back seat so he can't escape. Then Bill gets into the front seat and Violette gets into her car. The parents drive back to their house, untie William, and put him into shackles. Violette drags William by his handcuffs, as William screams to be let out. The neighbors call the police for the screaming. William holds onto the door frame, and his parents drag him into the house. Violette rips his arms off the door, and William screams in horror, as Bill slams the door shut. He then puts a chair in front of the door. The police arrive, and kick the door onto the floor. They hold Violette and Bill at gunpoint. Violette explains the situation. Then the police explain how he should have been dealt with. Bill changes his punishment. So, instead of whatever Bill was going to do to William, Bill decides to punish William by burning his PlayStation 5. Bill ties William to a chair in the driveway. Violette doesn't like where this is going. Bill goes inside and gets William's PS5. Violette tries convincing Bill to punish him differently. Bill ignores Violette, as he throws the PS5 onto the floor. William screams like a little girl. Bill drowns the PlayStation in lighter fluid. He then lights it on fire. As the fire rages, William cries, and Violette flips out at Bill. Meanwhile Bill is having an amazing time. When the fire is extinguished Violette unties William, and William runs into Bill at full speed, causing him to tumble over. Then the family got into a huge argument. Then they all decide to battle it over with a board game. Bill suggests that they play Chutes and Ladders. William says that they will be playing Monopoly. Violette states that the family will be playing nothing, and they are going to have a movie night. The family starts arguing over what to do for board game night. Bill slaps William, then William kicks Bill's leg which causes him to tumble back onto the couch. Bill and William get into a huge fight. Violette breaks it up. The family makes the decision to play Chutes and Ladders, then they will play Monopoly, then end the night with a movie and popcorn. Bill gets the games and the family starts playing Chutes and Ladders. As the evening draws on, the winner of Chutes and Ladders is Bill. However, William gets so angry that he is forced to get the BB gun. Bill stands up and walks over to the kitchen, and he lets out a howl of pain. Violette runs over to the kitchen to see what happened. Turns out that William shot Bill's behind yet again. That is 7 times that Bill has been shot in the behind by a family member. Violette tells Bill to sit down on his chair. Then she grabs the BB gun and snaps it in half. Now nobody will be shot in the behind ever again. William grabs the Monopoly game board, and the family have a horrible game of Monopoly straight from the underworld. The game starts off and everything seems normal so far. When Bill steals some of William's money, William runs outside and returns with a pickaxe. William starts pickaxing the board, and then he rips it into many pieces. Violette calms William down, and the family watch the movie called How the Grinch Stole Christmas 2018. The family had a wonderful time, and enjoyed a wonderful movie night. Then around midnight the family head off to bed, and in the morning at 6 a.m. Violette hears a strange noise. She decides to investigate. The noise really turned out to be William raging on his Xbox, at 7 in the morning. So Violette decides to spy on William through the crack in his open door. When William gets eliminated, he grabs the microphone from his headset, and throws it out of the window. As the morning continues, William keeps getting eliminated, which causes him to demolish his room. Violette runs into the room, and William forces her right back outside. William goes over to his shelves and starts dropping everything onto the floor. Violette rips the door open and she sees a huge mess of broken things on the floor. Violette explodes at William for making a huge gigantic mess. Bill gets awoken from the screaming and he grabs his Nerf rifle. Bill shoots Violette in the behind with foam darts. Bill then explodes at Violette and says that he is trying to sleep. William pushes Violette out of his room. He then continues to rage on Fortnite. Violette returns to spying on him through the crack in his door. William gets eliminated 35,967 times. But this William has had enough, and he punches his TV. Violette comes in to check on him. Violette sees the damages, and suggests that they take it to the Geek Squad to fix it. William drags the television by its power cord. He drags it downstairs, and through the front door. Violette says to him to be more careful, however William drags it even faster and locks the door shut. Violette hears him setting up a barricade. William ends up drowning his TV in gallons of light fluid. Violette opens the door and breaks down the barricade. Before Violette can do anything, William sets fire to his television set. Violette ends up roaring at William for lighting his TV on fire. But it is too late to stop the fire. As William pours more lighter fluid onto the TV, his mother gets Bill, and they both explode at him for doing such a horrible thing to his TV. Then Bill ends up extinguishing the fire. William gets into Violette's truck and runs over the TV. He then drags the TV to the pool and he throws it into the pool. William dives into the pool and takes the TV out of the pool. William drags the TV to Violette's car, and he ties the power cord to the trailer hook. He then gets into Violette's car, and drives away with the TV attached to the car. William drives Violette's car around the block 50 times. William gets out of the car and unties the power cord. Violette and Bill explode at him for doing everything to the TV. William ignores them as he demands for a new TV. Violette states that he won't be getting a TV. Bill agrees with Violette. So William goes up to Violette's room, and steals the TV from their bedroom. Violette and Bill roar at William for taking the TV from their bedroom. However, William ignores them and he starts to rage on the TV he stole from his parents' bedroom. Once again he gets eliminated, and he hurls his controller at the TV. William runs downstairs with the TV and he breaks the living room TV. Violette stands there, not knowing what to do. William drags both televisions outside and he ends up lighting them on fire. But Bill extinguishes the fire before it can get out of hand. Bill roars at William, and Bill decides to punish William by making him paint the entire outside of the house by himself. As William paints the house, Bill and Violette make repairs to their pool. The family all pitch into painting the walls of the house. William paints the sides of the house, and Bill paints nothing. While Violette paints the front of the house, Bill gets the hose. Bill turns it on and sprays William. But William gets revenge by throwing a paint-soaked towel at Bill's leg. Bill gets splattered in paint. He then explodes in anger and shakes the ladder that William is standing on. William asks him to stop. But Bill runs away. William goes back to painting the second floor of the house. Bill runs to the front of the house and starts bringing in the other half of the furniture. Bill pulls the furniture inside to the kitchen and starts cleaning the furniture to make it sparkle. William finishes painting the wall and William heads inside to help Bill with the furniture. William brings new TVs into the house and brings them upstairs to his bedroom. He puts one in his room, Violette's bedroom, and puts one downstairs in the living room. Bill and Violette make burgers for lunch while William takes a nap. After lunch the family head back outside and plant new plants. Bill cuts the grass and William puts down mulch. Meanwhile Violette trims the plants with a hedge trimmer. William finishes placing down the mulch, and he decides to use a weed whacker to help Bill out with cutting the grass. William cuts the grass. But out of nowhere Violette freaks out and she punches Bill in the head. Bill flips out and William tries to separate Bill and Violette. But Violette runs to get her car keys, and she gets into her car. William sneaks to the back of the car and manages to put a tracker on Violette's car. Then Bill tries reasoning with Violette. But she ignores everyone and she drives off. Bill and William hop into Bill's truck and chase after her, with the help of the tracker. William pulls out the tracker app. Bill gets instruction from William on where to go. William sees Violette's car ahead of them. The car then turns onto the freeway. Bill drives onto the freeway. The boys chase Violette down the freeway. Meanwhile, Violette pulls off to the side of the road, and looks around for the escape car. Then a black limo pulls up, and she gets into it. Bill pulls over to the side of the highway where Violette's car is. William gets out and examines. He returns to the truck and tells Bill about what he saw. Bill and William continue down the freeway and attempt to look for Violette. Meanwhile a few miles down the road, the limo gets off the highway and drives to the airport. Bill gets off at an exit, and stops at McDonald's to get 5 Big Macs. Bill orders nothing for William. Bill gives William half a Big Mac, and he devours his 4.5 Big Macs in a matter of minutes. William savors his Big Mac. After the boys had their lunch they head back out to search for Violette. Meanwhile Violette, who is at the airport, manages to find her gate with no troubles. She then boards the plane, and the plane taxis to the runway. Bill gets a text from Violette. It says, "Good luck finding me, dingbat. I am heading across the world to Europe. This course is built to floor it at 80 miles per hour. William screams for his life, as Bill speeds to the airport. Once they arrive at the airport they run into the check-in. Bill demands for a flight to Europe. They get the flight and they race through security. The boys catch their breath at the gate. Then they board the flight and they head to the runway. The plane takes off and the boys are back on the chase to find Violette. A few hours later the family are in Europe but they are a few hundred miles away from each other. Bill explodes in anger when he gets another text from Violette. The text says, "I'm on a train heading to Nepal. Good luck getting me, freaking jerk." William becomes furious and he drags Bill by the arm to a car rental place. After filling out the paperwork they get to the car. Bill gets into the driver's seat and William gets into the passenger seat. Bill floors it to an abandoned road, and he revs the engine. William sets the instructions. Bill gets ready. He then pushes the speed pedal to the ground of the car so fast, it dents the floor. Then the car accelerates to 100 miles per hour in a matter of seconds. Violette's train reaches a train stop, which is on the road that the boys are traveling on. Violette sees the car that Bill is driving. She watches it zoom past them at 130 miles per hour. Bill gets a FaceTime call from Violette. This course is built to stop the car. Violette states that she is going to hide out at Mount Everest's base camp. She instantly regrets saying that. Bill immediately hangs up and gets out of the car. He tops the fuel, and he gets back into the car. William suggests they get 50 Big Macs. Bill agrees and they head back to Rome to find a McDonald's. After getting 100 Big Macs, Bill returns to the empty abandoned road they were just at. Bill floors it and reaches a speed of 160 miles per hour. William seems for his life. A few hours later they arrive at Nepal, and they slam the brake. Bill and William get out of the truck and start an overnight walk to the Mount Everest base camp. As the night draws on the boys start portioning their supply of 100 Big Macs because someone ate 80 of them. When the sun starts to just peek over the horizon, the boys arrive at the base camp. They find Violette and run to her. Bill talks to Violette but she decides to run away. But Bill picks Violette up, and they hike back down to civilization. After a 4-hour hike, William and Bill chain Violette to the back seat of the rental truck. They have a huge discussion on what happened. Violette explains the entire situation. Bill gets into the driver's seat and William gets into the passenger seat. Bill floors it to the nearest McDonald's and Bill makes a huge order of 50 Big Macs, 12 large fries, 3 20-piece nuggets, 10 large sodas. Bill pulls into a parking space and he devours his food. Violette and William are given 1 4-piece nugget, small water, and small fry. Violette and William savor their meal as Bill hoovers his food. After Bill finishes his McDonald's, he drives back to Rome. Bill drives around Rome and finds a hotel. The boys unchain Violette. Bill finds the cheapest room they can get. The family headed to the hotel room, and hit the hay. In the morning they go to the pub at the hotel and Bill gets a 10-pound bowl of oatmeal. He absolutely speed drinks it. William sneaks off to the arcade with $1,000 he stole from Bill's wallet. Bill takes out his wallet and opens it. Bill screams in horror, and runs to the arcade. William has already spent all of the money he stole. William runs away, but gets picked up by Bill. Then Bill grabs a BB gun and shoots William in the behind. This causes William to snatch the BB gun, and he shoots Bill's behind. The boys start crying, and Violette drags the both of them and puts them into the rental truck. Bill gets tied down with 2-inch thick steel chains. William gets chained down with 1-inch thick steel wire. Violette gets into the front seat and floors it. She dodges traffic, and manages to find a port. The boys start wiggling out of their restraints. Violette gets out of her car, and ties the boys down with 3-inch thick steel chains and tightens them so they can't wiggle. Violette drives the rental truck onto a ferry and the family are on the boat for 8 days. After they arrive in New York City, Bill and William are unchained. Bill gets into the driver's seat, and William gets into the passenger seat. Violette is chained down with 10-foot-long steel chains. Bill drives home. A few hours later they arrive at the place where Bill's truck was abandoned. The boys unchain Violette and the family load up into Bill's truck. William gets into the second row and Bill and Violette get into the front row. Bill drives them home. Once they arrive at their house they get out of the truck. Violette suggests that they have a movie night. Bill suggests they watch the Titanic. William suggests that they watch Turning Red. Violette suggests that they are going to watch Turning Red. Bill says that they are watching Titanic. The family exploded into an argument. Bill makes a compromise. The compromise is they will watch Turning Red, then watch Titanic. William and Violette agree to the compromise. Bill runs upstairs and gets the movies. William gets hundreds of snacks. Violette makes a bowl of popcorn and puts a little drop of butter on it. The family load up the Turning Red DVD into the TV. They laugh at it all and have a wonderful time. After the movie ends, Bill loads up Titanic. The family watches and starts crying because of how sad it is. Bill heads to bed at 9 p.m. after the movies. William and Violette pull an all-nighter and watch SpongeBob SquarePants all night long. However, they end up crashing and fall asleep around 2 a.m. In the morning, Violette announces to the family that they will be having a chore day. Violette grabs a toilet cleaner and forces William to clean the entire toilet. William walks sadly to the bathroom and starts cleaning the potty. Bill starts making the beds. Violette takes out the dishwashing liquid and gives it to William. Violette goes to the whiteboard on their basement door and writes a list of chores that they need to complete before sundown. Bill crosses off make beds on the chore list. William cleans the shower and loads the laundry into the washing machine. He puts the wet laundry into the dryer and starts the laundry machine cycles. Violette crosses off laundry and clean bathroom off the chore list. Violette gets window cleaner and starts washing the windows to make them look spotless. Violette grabs William by the arm and picks up the dishwashing soap. William loads up the dishwasher. Violette watches him throw the dishes into the dishwasher. William finishes loading up the dishwasher. Violette walks over to the TV and wipes it off with a disinfecting wipe. William removes the cap off the dishwashing soap, and he pours 200% of the cap size into the cap of the dishwashing soap. He then puts the dishwashing soap into the dishwasher. William closes the dishwasher and starts the run cycle. 15 minutes later, Violette returns to the kitchen and sees bubbles starting to leak out of the dishwasher. So she puts a towel under the part of the dishwasher where bubbles are leaking out of the dishwasher. Violette crosses off dishes on the chore list. This makes the list 40% complete. William goes to the living room. He picks up from the mess left behind from the movie night. William runs around the house. He cleans up all the waste around the house. William finishes the cleaning up and crosses it off the chore list. Violette walks outside and cuts the grass. Violette finishes cutting the grass and puts away the mower. Violette enters the back door and steps in water. She then looks at the dishwasher and sees soap is oozing out of the dishwasher. William hears Violette screaming like a maniac. He runs down the stairs like a maniac. Bill hears stomping on the stairs and runs after William. Then William grabs the vacuum cleaner and plugs it in. He starts vacuuming the bubbles. William finishes vacuuming up the bubbles. He then opens the dishwasher and empties the dishes and washes them in the sink. William grabs a broom and brushes the bubbles onto the floor. Violette blows up at William. This causes William to snap the broom in half and he quickly cleans up the dishwasher in a matter of 2 minutes. William finishes cleaning up the soap, which completes the chore list. Then they head to bed. In the morning, William gets back to school after a 1-week suspension. William gets awoken with a gong at 6 a.m. by Violette. William goes downstairs and showers and gets dressed. He eats a huge breakfast that contains 1 pound of oatmeal, 3 bowls of cereal, 10 apples. Violette rushes him. After he eats his breakfast, he grabs his pencil case and his single folder. He only has that much supply since he burnt his other supplies a week ago. Violette drags William by the arm. She throws his worthless behind into her van. William gets chained down by Violette with 3.5-inch thick steel chains. Violette then puts a muzzle on William to prevent him from screaming like a maniac. Violette then tightens the chains to prevent him from wiggling out of the chains. She then handcuffs William's hands and feet to the roof and floor of the car. Violette chains his legs against the chair of the car. Violette then gets into the car and buckles up. She drives William's useless behind to his school with the help of a police escort. Violette then arrives at the school and unchains William. She handcuffs his hands together and leaves the muzzle on. William gets dragged by the arm, by Violette. Everyone starts laughing at him. This causes William to start crying, which makes everyone laugh even harder. William gets let out of the muzzle and handcuffs, and the principal and superintendent wait for his arrival at the front entrance. William gets picked up by the superintendent and gets dragged by the arms. William starts screaming to be let out, but his pleas are ignored. William manages to wiggle from the superintendent and principal. He runs down the hall, ripping and throwing everything onto the floor. Then the security officer picks him up after William ripped 100 books in the library. The principal arrives and gives William in school suspension for 2 days. But the twist is that Violette is in charge of William's in school suspension. Violette agrees to watch over William while he does his in school suspension. The weekend goes by, and on Monday morning William wakes up and gets ready for school. William hops into the car. Violette chains him down with 10-inch thick steel chains. She tightens rope around him so he can't escape. William tries wiggling, but this only causes Violette to tighten the chains even more. Violette attaches 3 muzzles to his mouth to prevent him from screaming and crying. Violette finishes chaining down William, and she loads up into her van. A dozen military vehicles arrive at the Anderson household. Violette drives into her position in the escort. Police arrive and lead the escort of tanks. The Navy sent a team over to the school to secure a parking spot at the school for the military escort. Violette drives in the middle surrounded by tanks on all sides. The military escort arrives at the school. Then the escort pulls up to the spot where it is supposed to park. Violette gets out and unchains William. She removes the muzzles. The military handcuff William. Then the Navy escort William into the in-school suspension room. The janitor screws the desk to the floor. William gets handcuffed to the desk and chair so he can't escape. William sits down in the chair and gets tied to the chair so we can't escape. Violette handcuffs his arms to the desk. Violette gives him a 60-page work packet that he has to finish by the end of the day. Each page has 10 problems. So in total, William has to do at least 100 problems an hour to finish before the end of the school day. Violette gives a number 2 pencil. William reads the first line of the first page of the packet and screams in horror. William screamed in horror because the text said if you get a single problem incorrect your packet will be burned. Violette tells him to be quiet and to start the packet. William begins the packet and passes out when he sees the first problem. The first problem reads Zach bought 3,000 bananas from the grocery store on Tuesday. He ate 700 of them in one sitting on Friday. How many slices of expired banana bread cupcakes can he make if the slices are 7 nanometers thick? How many milliseconds would it take him to bake all the cupcakes if he set the oven to exactly minus 266.483 degrees Kelvin? Then he decides to divide the slices evenly among his 752k friends. How long would it take the 249,472th person to eat all of their slices if they started eating next Wednesday at 3 o'clock am? The Wednesday after the next, the 300th person decides to freeze his slices. How many freezers with a size of 342.474 times 82 x 427 inches would it take to store all of the slices of bread? And Zach decides to eat 200 trillion slices of expired banana bread cupcakes. How many centuries would it take for him to eat all of the slices of expired banana bread cupcakes at a speed of 1 slice per year? Violette doesn't unchain William. The nurse gets called and helps out William. A few minutes later he wakes. The nurse leaves. Violette blows up at William for passing out. The two of them explode at each other and argue like a volcano is about to erupt, which causes William to cry. The principal gets called. Bill gets called from work, and he runs to his car. He buckles into his seat and puts his car into drive. Bill then floors it and achieves speed in excess of 150 miles per hour. A few seconds later he arrives at the house. Bill grabs a BB gun and drives to the school at 200 miles per hour. A minute later he arrives at the school. Bill runs into the school. He rips the entrance door off its hinges. He roars up the stairs. Bill runs to the in-school suspension room. He then shoots Violette in the back for arguing. Violette screams out in pain. Bill then unchains William and removes his handcuffs. Bill then comforts William and hugs him. Violette punches Bill because Bill hugged William. Bill slaps Violette in the cheek. William runs away but Violette shoots her in the behind. William runs to the nurse's office. The nurse checks up on William and puts bandages on his gunshot wound. She gives him an ice pack and tells William to sit down on the ice pack. Meanwhile back in the in-school suspension room, Violette and Bill are fighting each other. Violette grabs the BB gun and shoots Bill in the back 3 times. This is now 11 times Bill has been shot in the behind with a BB gun. Violette laughs at Bill for crying. The army gets called and arrives at the in-school suspension room. The soldiers break up the fight. Bill and Violette make peace and kiss and hug each other and apologize hundreds of times. Bill and Violette get treated at the nurse's office for their injuries. Bill, Violette, and William head back to the room and start cleaning up after the huge fight and mess they made. They finish cleaning up and Bill returns to his work. Violette goes to the teacher's desk and watches over William as he finishes his packet. Violette grabs William's packet and looks over it. She sees a single incorrect problem. William starts crying. Violette drags his worthless behind outside. She squirts lighter fluid on his packet and lights it on fire. William runs around like a maniac screaming and crying. Violette ties him with a rope and drags the rope to the car. Violette chains William with 1-inch thick steel chains. Violette drives home and then unties William. William runs upstairs and immediately starts raging on Xbox. Then the next morning, Violette wakes William up by punching him in the face. William wakes up crying out in pain. William gets ready and patiently waits for Violette in her van. Violette takes 30 minutes to get ready and William gets very impatient. Violette eventually comes out of the house and loads up into the van without chaining William. They drive to the school and arrive at the school. Violette finds a parking spot and she brings William to the in-school suspension room. Violette monitors over William as he gets a 10-page packet full of open response questions. William races through his packet and finishes it in 2 hours. Violette takes the packet and calls the principal. Violette hands the packet to the principal, and William and Violette patiently await the results. An hour later, they get the results. William passed. Violette and William celebrate and they get to head home early, but William is given a paragraph to do by his science teacher. When they get home, William is forced to go upstairs and do his homework assignment. Violette goes upstairs to her bedroom to wait for William to finish his assignment. A few minutes later, Violette then walks over to William's bedroom to check on how he is getting along with an assignment he has to do. Violette then enters the bedroom to find William laying down on his bed. She asks William how the assignment is going along. William says that he is doing it, and it is almost done. William blocks Violette from going further into his room and sees the assignment's progress. Violette forces her way into the bedroom and sees the assignment. When Violette sees the assignment, she gasps in shock. William had only written his first name on the assignment. Violette asks him why he only put his first name on the assignment. William ignores her question. She also says that he needs to put a last name on his assignments because he is now in high school and that the teacher will not grade it if he does not put a last name on it. She says that the teacher doesn't have time to decide which William wrote the assignment. She walks back to her bedroom and waits a few more minutes. She then decides to leave her bedroom and goes back over to William's room to check on the progress he is making with the assignment. Violette enters his bedroom. William then quickly sits up, dropping his keyboard onto the ground. Violette asks him how the assignment is going along. William says that he has finished the assignment. When Violette asks to see the assignment, William turns the screen off so she can't do the assignment. When she asks if she can see the assignment, William shows her the black screen. Violette says to William, "What happened to the screen, and why is it black?" William tells a lie, and says that she must have hit a power cord which has caused it to turn off. Violette asks if he has finished the assignment. William responds by telling Violette that he has finished it. Violette asks some more questions about the assignment. William then admits the truth and says that has not finished that assignment and that he will not be doing it. Violette walks back to her bedroom, and gets her Chromebook. William refuses to do the assignment on her Chromebook. He calls it a netbook. Violette and William argue on what the Chromebook is called. Violette then threatens William by turning his internet service off. Violette drags his useless behind downstairs and she gives William the Chromebook. Violette argues with William about doing his homework assignment. This spirals into William throwing the Chromebook onto the floor. Violette lets out a huge scream as William hits the Chromebook screen against the corner of a wall. William grabs a 2x4 and smashes the Chromebook. He then grabs lighter fluid and runs outside, locking Violette inside to slow her down. Violette rips the door off of its hinges and stands there in horror as he burns the Chromebook. Violette ends up extinguishing the fire, and William is forced to do the assignment in the office. William goes to the office, and screams in horror. Violette forces him onto an office chair and he begins writing the assignment. Exactly 35 seconds later he finishes the assignment. Violette checks it, and says that he has to redo the entire assignment. William gets furious. He then grabs a metal pole, and rams it into the monitor. He hits the monitor multiple times. Violette screams in horror. William then drags the monitor outside, and throws it into Bill's burnt car. William drowns the car and monitors in gallons of lighter fluid and he lights the car and monitors on fire. The fire rages on, and a few minutes later Bill returns home from work. Bill explodes when he looks at his car, which is on fire again. William grabs a hose and extinguishes the flames and drags the burnt monitor out of the car. Bill flips out and yells at William. However, William ignores his parents, as he shoots the monitor with a BB gun. William then burns the BB gun when it runs out of ammo. Violette goes inside and prints 100 copies of William's assignment. William grabs every copy and starts ripping them apart. He then grabs the monster paper shredder, and shreds his assignment. Violette keeps printing more copies, which just get ripped and shredded by William. Soon they run out paper in the house, and William drags the monster paper shredder outside. He ties the power cord to Bill's truck. William then gets into Bill's truck and he drives it away, going around the block 20 times. Violette roars at William for driving Bill's truck around the block 50 times. Bill then roars at Violette and William. Violette grabs the burnt BB gun, and reloads it with BB pellets. William runs away and hides in the pool. He gets shot in the behind. William then lets out a painful roar, and Bill gets shot 2 times in the behind by Violette. Then Violette breaks the BB gun into 400 pieces. Then Violette runs inside and breaks all the ice packs so Bill and William can't put one on their behind. Bill starts crying. William comforts Bill, as Violette runs away to hide from them. Bill and William find Violette and explode at her. She explains why she shot them, but William and Bill ignore the lies and punch her face twice. Bill laughs at Violette and they run around like psycho monkeys. Violette then gets up and slaps Bill and William. Bill stops the family from getting into a huge argument and then the family have a movie night. Bill gets a movie, and Violette makes popcorn. Violette then puts on the movie, and they watch a movie on the history of yarn. Violette and Bill end up falling asleep, and William sneaks upstairs to sleep. In the morning Bill sends Violette away from the afternoon. Then Bill and William decide they are gonna prepare a surprise for Violette. They plan a surprise birthday party for Violette because today is her birthday. Bill starts cleaning the house. William makes sure there is enough snacks. After Bill finishes cleaning he calls William over. The boys head out to Party City and purchase party supplies. Bill loads up the party supplies into the trunk of his truck. The boys then head out to the supermarket. They get an entire cart full of birthday food. They order a red velvet flavored cake. Violette texts Bill saying that she is heading home in about 30 minutes. The boys rush to the checkout and drive home as fast as they can without breaking any traffic laws. Bill and William unload the party supplies and groceries. Bill runs inside and cooks the food as fast as possible and William sets up the party supplies. An hour later, Lucy and Andy arrive with some food and gifts for the party. Bill asks them to help finish setting up the supplies. Bill then grabs the food Andy brought over and he speedruns cooking the food. William, Andy, and Lucy finish setting up the supplies as Bill finishes setting snacks down in the kitchen. More families come over a few minutes before Violette does. Bill hides the gifts in William's bedroom. The family gets in hiding spots right before they arrive at the house. A minute later the door opens and the family jumps out and yells surprise. Violette screams in shock. Lucy explains everything. Bill grabs Violette and everyone shouts for Violette and Bill to kiss. They kiss it out and hug each other. The family have a dance party and eat the snacks. Then an hour later Bill sets out dinner and everyone tucks into a huge feast of pizza, pasta, salad, breadsticks, turkey, and so much more. Violette gets to open her presents. She faints once she sees William's present. William got Violette a gold necklace that he spent 9 months working for. Bill hides in the bathroom because Bill got Violette a broken coffee mug that cost him $1. Violette wakes up a few minutes later with Bill's present in her hands. Violette rips open the present that Bill got for her and she immediately gets up and punches Bill in the arm. William separates them and the entire family yells fight fight fight. William manages to prevent Bill and Violette from exploding into a fist fight. Bill runs to get his real present. He runs outside and drives it up to the house. He honks the horn and everyone runs outside to surprise Violette. William blindfolds Violette. William walks Violette outside. She takes her blindfold off and screams with happiness. Bill honks the horn of Violette's new Tesla Model S. They even had an electric pump installed at the house. Lucy tells Violette to get into her Tesla. Violette and Lucy get into the back seat. Bill and William get into the first row and Andy gets into the third row. The family drove out to a farm. They drove out to a random farm because the final gift that Violette got for her birthday is a brand new puppy. Violette flips out with excitement when the puppy jumps onto her lap. William already has a name for the puppy. William's idea for the puppy's name is Violette Jr. This causes Violette to scream with excitement because she adores the name. Violette Jr. licks Violette's face, which causes Violette to pass out. The family drive home and show Violette Jr. the house she will be living at. Violette Jr. looks around the house and meets Elsie and Beale. The dogs all get along with each other. This makes the family very happy. Violette sends Lucy and Andy home for the night. Then William heads upstairs to rage on Fortnite. Bill goes to the kitchen to cook burgers, and Violette helps make a fixings bar. Bill cooks the burgers with mushrooms, which is a huge mistake. Bill and Violette both call William downstairs, but William refuses to go downstairs. When Violette mentions dessert, William slides down the staircase to the kitchen and screams that he wants dessert. Bill mentions the mushrooms, which causes William to go into chaos mode. William and Bill get into a huge argument. William has had enough and he grabs the burgers and grabs a 2x4. He grabs the fixings plate and dumps it onto the burger plate. William tapes the plates together until you could only see duct tape. Violette explodes and shouts at William and attempts to stop him but fails to do so. Bill tries to block the back door but gets pushed out of the way as William rips the door off of its hinges. Violette runs after William as he drowns the plates in lighter fluid. William ends up lighting the burgers and fixings on fire. William grabs a pair of pliers and picks up the burning plate mess. He then throws it into the pool. William then grabs the lighter fluid and runs to Violette's old car. William makes a pit stop at the shed and grabs a tank of gasoline. Then William runs over to the car. Meanwhile, Bill and Violette dive into the pool to grab the burnt plate of fixings and burgers. William drowns Violette's car in gasoline and lighter fluid. William lights the car on fire and squirts the car with lighter fluid to make the fire larger. Violette smells smoke and jumps out of the car and grabs a hose. She runs over to her car to see William is adding gasoline to the car fire. Violette extinguishes the fire. William grabs the hose and rips it in half in anger because Violette put out the fire. Bill runs after William and strangles him. Bill lets go and William cries out in pain. William runs to get the BB gun. He then shoots Bill in the behind for the 13th time. Bill doesn't even react in pain because his body is so used to being shot in the behind at this point. Violette grabs an ice pack and puts a bandage on the wound. Violette roars in anger and lights the BB gun on fire until it is just dust. Violette extinguishes the fire and all that is left of the BB gun is a pile of dust. Bill sits down on his chair and falls asleep. William gets an evil idea. Violette doesn't like where this is going. William grabs a pair of scissors and cuts his shirt in half. Violette is peer pressured into helping William cut Bill's shirt in half. William grabs an air horn and blasts it in Bill's ear. Bill jumps out of his seat and looks down at his shirt. Bill explodes at William and Violette. Bill runs upstairs and grabs William's Nintendo Switch. Bill then bolts outside the back door, ripping the door off of its hinges. William runs after Bill, crying and begging he don't do anything with his Nintendo Switch. Bill lights William's Switch on fire, and William extinguishes it before any damage can be done. William hides his Nintendo Switch in the shed until the heat is off. The family then heads off to bed and in the morning, William wakes up and gets ready for school. Today is a special day for William's school. The day is special because William is going to apologize for everything he has done to the school and he is going to pay for all the damages he made. William arrives at the school. He runs to the principal's office. William then apologized and he begs for forgiveness. He promises that he will no longer do anything bad. Violette also gets rehired as William's English teacher. William is given a new schedule and every class is Violette's English class. William is absolutely excited for class to begin. He brings Violette to room 1204. Violette waits for the class to assemble and she hands out the work packets and she instructs the class with them. The bell rings and the same thing happens for the entire day. The final bell rings and William packs his stuff up. Violette holds William's hand and she walks out with William to Violette's Tesla Model S. Bill asks how the day went. William and Violette give an in-depth explanation of the entire day. Bill is pleased with how the day went and surprises William with a new Xbox. William hugs Bill for over an hour. William runs up eagerly to his room and starts playing on his new Xbox. The day goes on and Bill cooks dinner. William comes downstairs without having to be called downstairs by his parents. William shares the dinner and picks a movie for movie night. The family watches a movie and after the movie they head back upstairs to bed. In the morning William eagerly gets up and gets ready for school before anybody wakes up. Bill wakes up and Violette gets ready for the day. William patiently waits for Violette. William is so excited because today is the field trip day to the cracker factory. Violette runs to her Tesla. Violette drives to school and everyone loads up onto the school buses to the cracker factory. Violette and William sit together. The bus driver drives them to the cracker factory and Violette and William have a discussion on what they should do for next week's movie night. Bill gets ready for work and cleans up the house from the movie night. He runs to his truck and drives to work. 20 minutes later William spots Bill's truck and he waves to Bill. This causes Bill to honk his horn to say hello to William. The bus arrives at the cracker factory and everyone unloads from the bus. He runs with Violette to the cracker tasting facility and tastes thousands of crackers. Violette takes him away and they head over to the cracker making production line. Violette watches in excitement and William eagerly watches on how crackers are made. Violette goes to see how the crackers are cooked and William goes back to the tasting room. At lunch William and Violette meet back up. Violette unpacks her salad. William unpacks his nacho salad. The two of them dig into a huge lunch of pizza, salad, nachos, lasagna, and much more. After lunch they head back home and, after school, Bill arrives home from work. Soon the babysitter arrives and Bill and Violette head out to town for a romantic dinner at Burger King. Andy arrives to babysit William. Violette and Bill get into Bill's truck and drive off to Burger King. William suggests they play Xbox. Andy agrees. They head up to William's bedroom. They turn the Xbox on and start raging on Fortnite. Bill and Violet arrive at Burger King and order 25 hoppers. They head to a table and have a romantic dinner of 25 hoppers. Back at the house, Andy uses the Xbox and gets eliminated in Fortnite. William takes a turn. After he gets eliminated, the boys run downstairs. They watch Despicable Me 1-3. Back at the Burger King, Violette has 1 Whopper and Bill has 24 hoppers. Bill finishes his hoppers and Violette and Bill get back into Bill's truck. They head home. Once they enter the house, they see William and Andy have fallen asleep on the couch while watching TV. William wakes up and heads up to his bedroom. Andy heads home. Violette and Bill go to their bedroom and fall asleep. The next night they have a movie night from the underworld. Violette suggests that they watch Home Alone 4. Bill suggests that they watch Violette1st videos. William suggests they watch How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Everyone gets into a huge argument. They argue for over an hour but eventually settle on a movie to watch. They agree to watch Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Bill runs upstairs to get the movie. Bill returns downstairs with the movie. William puts the DVD into the DVD player. Violette runs to the kitchen and makes popcorn, and she puts a little drop of butter on the popcorn. Violette returns to the living room with 3 bowls full of popcorn. She gives everyone a bowl. William starts the movie and everyone has a wonderful time watching the movie. Bill finishes his popcorn and steals William's bowl. This causes William to erupt with anger and he runs outside to the shed. Violette roars at Bill for taking William's popcorn bowl. William returns inside from Bill's BB gun stash. He has a BB gun in his hands. William shoots the TV and punches it 20 times. The family argue and William replaces the TV with 80-inch HD 8K 4K display TV. His parents celebrate with happiness. William returns the BB gun to Bill's BB gun stash and all ends well. Everyone heads up to bed and in the morning Violette finds Bill's BB gun stash and has some fun. Violette grabs every single BB gun and goes inside. She runs upstairs with 1 BB gun and shoots a window. This wakes William and Bill. William grabs the BB gun Violette is holding and he snaps it in half. Violette grabs another BB gun and shoots William in the behind. Bill roars at Violette but gets shot in the behind as well. This is now 16 times Bill has been shot in the behind. William heads downstairs and grabs the stash of BB guns and ammo. He starts breaking them and ripping them into many pieces. He throws the broken BB guns into the wooden crate they were in. Violette runs to the living room and threatens to shoot the new TV William got for the family. Bill grabs the BB gun before Violette can shoot it. Violette heads outside. William dumps gasoline on the broken guns and lights it on fire. Bill runs away and grabs the garden hose. William runs after Bill and William rips the garden hose in half. Bill grabs the broken hose and turns the water on. William turns it off. This goes back and forth for a few minutes before Bill grabs a bucket and fills cool water in it. He then runs to the fire and drowns it. The fire gets extinguished. The boys look over to Violette, who has a lot of explaining and apologizing to do. Bill drags Violette inside and places her on the couch. William ties Violette down. William and Bill wait for her to apologize. Violette says her apology. The apology goes, "Dear William and Bill, I have made mistakes with BB guns and have learned my lesson. Bill, I am truly and deeply sorrowful for shooting you in the back 9 times. William, I am even deeply sorrowful for almost shooting the new TV in the living room." The boys accept her apology and untie Violette. Bill grabs a Nerf gun and shoots Violette in the back 20 times as punishment. The family forget the whole situation even happened and load up into the car. They are going to have a family outing to the mall. Bill gets into the driver's seat. William and Violette strap into the back row of Violette's Tesla. Violette tells Bill that the both of them are ready. Bill starts the 1-hour trek to the mall. The family has a wonderful discussion on what they should do for the pool party they are having on Saturday. About 30 minutes later they arrive at the mall. Bill drops them off at the entrance and Bill goes to find a parking spot. Bill meets up with Violette and William about 10 minutes later. They head to 5 and below. Everyone gets a shopping cart. The family fills 3 shopping carts full of junk. Violette filled her cart full of pool party supplies. Bill filled his with food. William filled his with toys. The groceries bag takes up 2 carts. Violette asks the manager if they can take the carts outside, then return them because they can't take all the stuff in their hands. The manager accepts. Violette and William take a shopping cart, and Bill goes to get the car. They fill the trunk of the car with the bags. Violette runs inside and goes on a speedrun shopping spree. She goes to 10 different stores in under 5 minutes, spending over $100 at each store. Violette returns to the car in 8 minutes. Violette loads up the car, and hops into the back row. They drive home and prepare for the pool party. Once they arrive home they go bananas and cook up 20 pounds of food for their pool party. Bill cooks up a feast of 20 different foods. Violette makes sure the chemicals are topped off in the pool. William prepares the backyard. He does things like cut the grass, trim the plants, and put out extra chairs and tables for the guests. A few hours later they change into their swimsuits and the guests slowly start arriving. Violette and William greet the guests and Bill sets up all the snacks outside. Once everyone arrives the party begins. Everyone jumps into the pool and has a splash fight. 30 minutes later everyone slowly gets out of the pool and enjoys a feast of chips, dip, sodas, vegetables, fruits, finger sandwiches, and much more. 26 minutes later Bill serves dinner, and everyone enjoys a huge feast of pizza, popcorn, and cheese pie. After dinner everyone leaves. The family cleans up the party and finishes cleaning at midnight. In the morning Violette surprises everyone with a surprise. The surprise is a week-long vacation to Florida. Violette runs downstairs and grabs several suitcases. Bill and William run upstairs and pack their suitcase with the clothes Violette laid out on their beds. Bill packs his suitcase like the Flash. He even packs Violette's suitcase for her. Violette packs up snacks and other essential supplies for the trip to Florida. Violette loads up the snacks into the RV Violette rented for the trip. Violette packs up the hygiene stuff, and packs the pills in separate containers. William packs his Xbox into his backpack and sneaks his TV onto the RV and into his bedroom. Violette drives the RV around the corner to surprise Bill. Meanwhile upstairs in Violette and Bill's bedroom, Bill is finishing packing up the suitcases by adding in shoes and blankets. Bill runs downstairs with the suitcases and places them into the living room. Bill then packs a bag full of snacks just for him that he will be devouring throughout the entire trip. William packs up some snacks for himself on the trip to Florida. The family each pack a backpack full of random stuff for themselves to keep them occupied during the trip. At 3 p.m. the family finishes packing up, and Violette runs around the corner to bring over the RV and trailer. Once Bill sees the RV, he explodes with excitement. Bill doesn't care about how much the trip will cost because the RV will be luxurious. Violette honks the horn. The family load all their suitcases into the trailer and load up into the RV. Violette heads to the driver's seat and volunteers to drive during the day. Bill heads to his bedroom and takes a nap. William ventures over to his bedroom and starts raging on his Nintendo Switch that he smuggled on board to the RV. Violette honks the horn, and starts the 2-day trek to Florida. Violette drives the RV to Florida. As the day goes on the family drive and make occasional pit stops for breaks and such. At 7 p.m. Bill starts cooking a burger dinner. Once Bill cooks the dinner he calls the family over. Violette pulls into a highway rest stop and everyone digs into a huge dinner of 20 burgers while watching Citadel of Void Ultimate. They head to bed after watching the movie. In the morning they wake up and it is Bill's turn to drive. So Bill gets into the driver's seat and floors it at the speed limit. Violette cooks a pancake breakfast, and William wakes up to the smell of pancakes. Bill then pulls over to the side of the highway and eats his food in a matter of seconds. He then returns to the driver's seat and continues driving. William exits his room and wanders over to the miniature dining room table. He abajouly devours his meal. A minute later he returns to his bedroom and starts raging on his Xbox. Violette savors her pancake feast, and works on editing videos for the channel. A few hours later at dinner time they arrive at a pit stop. Bill fuels the RV and finds a place to park for the night. After a huge dinner of breadsticks and spaghetti the family head to bed at around 9 p.m. In the morning while the boys are still asleep, Violette finishes the journey to Florida. Bill and William are awoken, and see the marvelous sights of Miami, Florida. They find the hotel they are staying at and Bill checks into the hotel, while William and Violette explore the outdoor area where the pool is. After Bill finishes checking in they head back into the RV and find a place to park. They head up to the hotel room and almost faint at the wonderful hotel. They all find their bedrooms and go back and forth to the RV to bring their luggage up to the hotel room. Violette and Bill unpack their suitcases. William takes out his Xbox and Nintendo Switch. He immediately hooked them up to the TV in his bedroom at the hotel. Violette and Bill hear screaming coming from the other side of the hotel room. They investigate it, and find out William is already raging at his Xbox. Bill tells William to be quiet, and William lowers his voice. Bill is proud of William and Bill starts to cook a huge dinner for the achievement. William gets eliminated. So he decides to respawn instead of breaking the TV. Violette helps Bill work on the dinner. After dinner William volunteers to wash the dishes and load them up into the dishwasher. William carefully loads up the dishwasher, and puts in dishwash liquid into the dishwasher. The family then heads off to bed. In the morning they wake up and have oatmeal with Pop-Tarts for breakfast. After breakfast everyone puts their swim costume on and they head downstairs for a morning swim. They swim for a few hours. They then head back to the hotel room. William changes into his PJs and watches TV until dinner is ready. After the pancake dinner the family watched Home Alone 2. Then head to bed. In the morning they go skydiving. They walk over to the airport. And load onto an airplane. Once they are at 30,000 feet they dive. It takes them 30 minutes to land. After that they head to the hotel room and go straight to the swimming pool for one last time. They then pack up all their stuff and check out. They go back into the RV and head home. Bill drives home on the first day, while Violette makes a huge dinner of pizza, waffles, soup, cheese sandwiches, and chicken nuggets. The family eat a scrumptious meal, and head off to bed. In the morning they wake up at the crack of dawn and have eggs and toast for breakfast. Violette finishes the drive home. A few hours later they arrive home, and they unpack all their belongings. In the morning Violette wakes up William because it is back to school for William, and he has to catch up on a week's worth of schoolwork and homework. Violette uses a gong and hits the gong. William wakes up immediately. William then gets ready for the day. Violette takes her sweet time. William finishes getting ready while Violette is still taking her sweet time in the shower. William then heads out to the Tesla and patiently waits. 40 minutes later, Violette says that she will be out in 5 minutes. 36 minutes later William heads inside and wonders why Violette is taking so long. It turns out Violette just got out of the shower. William goes back to the Tesla. Then yet another 30 minutes later, Violette finally comes out and hops into the Tesla. The drive to the school takes 3 minutes. Violette and William exit the Tesla. They walk over to their classroom. Suddenly the principal pops out of nowhere and gives William his week of missed assignments. Violette and William head to the in-school suspension room. William starts to do his assignments. Violette monitors over him just to make sure he doesn't escape or run away. A few hours later William finishes his missed assignments. The two of them then walk over to the principal's office with the completed work. Violette gives the principal the completed assignments. Then Violette and William get to go home early. William and Violette head home in the Tesla. The next morning William gets ready at 6 a.m. and he is very excited because today is William's high school graduation. Violette rushes to get ready. William puts on a tuxedo. Bill gets up and requests the day off from work. Bill gets the day off from work for William's graduation. William takes the bus to school instead of getting driven in by Violette in her Tesla. At 9 a.m. Andy and Lucy arrive at the house in something fancy. The family finish getting ready 30 minutes before his graduation. The family load up into the Tesla and head off to William's school. Meanwhile, William arrives at the auditorium where the graduation ceremony will take place for the seniors. William takes his place on the stand of bleachers. The family arrives at the school and enters the auditorium. They find their places where they will sit. At 10 a.m. the graduation starts. First the superintendent gives a 20-minute long speech, and then the principal congratulates everyone. Then the seniors give their speeches and get their diploma. William is the last to give a speech and receive a diploma. William's speech goes as follows: for the past 15 years of my life I have been tormented every day in this city's garbage of a school system. I have gotten back pain from the so-called chairs. I despise every single teacher because they gave me assignments. I often go to the restroom and hide there for hours to not do my billions of assignments I was assigned every single day for the past 15 years of my miserable life. This school has given me neck, back, shoulder, hand, leg, and behind pain because they keep overwhelming me in assignments. My backpack weighed over 26 pounds and I had to carry that every day for my entire high school career. This school can bleep off. Everyone who works in this school can kiss my bleep. I bleeping hate this bleeping school. Bleep you so-called bleeping bleep head of a principal. I am tired. I had to drag my miserable bleep out of my bleeping bed every single day 5 days a bleeping week. I am sick, tired, depressed, miserable, have constant pain all over my body, have to see a chiropractor every bleeping week. I am constantly scared and hated in this bleep factory of a so-called school. This is not a bleeping school, it's a prison for teenagers. We are forced to do dumb assignments that don't even make any sense. Like Bob had 387,243 candy bars, he ate 3,284. Where is he now? I know where, 6 feet underground. Bleep this bleeping bleep factory of a bleep 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 so-called school. I almost went deaf because the bleeping loudspeakers are louder than 10 bleeping blowhorns combined. Bleep you principal. Bleep yo mama smelly superintendent. And everyone else can bleep yourself. Every day I had to deal with the bleeping principal because I kept getting in bleeping trouble by the bleeping bleep heads of these so-called bleeping teachers. That's it, I am so done of this bleeping place and never want to return to this bleeping bleep bleep place. I am done. Then everyone claps in amazement because of how many curse words he sent. His family is fuming at him. They are so furious that if what happened to him was in a video it would be age restricted. His family ran after him. William gets chased off stage. Then the entire school starts chasing him. The family loaded up into the Tesla and drove off at 120 miles per hour. They arrive home. The family congratulates William for standing up to the cruel school system. In the morning after a 12 hours night's sleep, William gets dressed and goes onto his computer to find a job. He looks for a part-time job that he does while he is in college. Violette enters his room. Violette asks how the job search is going. He says, I found a company with a great job opportunity. William found the job that is perfect for him. The job is collecting grocery carts. It pays $20,000 a year. Violette is very impressed and proud he found a job all by himself. William calls the manager of the supermarket and asks if he can schedule an application. William gets accepted for a job application. A couple days later William gets the results of the application. He got an interview. William goes to the interview and passes with flying colors. The next day he starts his job. He wakes up early, he takes a shower and gets dressed. When he gets downstairs, he has a big breakfast of cereal, oatmeal, Pop-Tarts, shredded wheat, and a cold glass of milk. Violette drives him off to work, and William has a 5-hour shift of collecting grocery carts. After work he gets a paycheck for $80. William gets picked up by Violette and her shiny Tesla Model S. William requests that they go to the GameStop to get a new game. Violette takes him there. William rushes in to get the new Lego Star Wars game. Violette drives him home. William rushes into his bedroom. He immediately starts playing. A couple hours later he beats the game. William eats a dinner of cheese pasta and salad and heads to bed extra early because tomorrow is his first day of college. William eats a dinner of cheese pasta and salad and heads to bed extra early because tomorrow is his first day of college. In the morning William wakes up extra early and gets ready super fast and gets dressed into a tuxedo. William packs his backpack and waits for the bus to take him to college. After William arrives at his college he takes his own tour of the college. After his tour of college William finds his class. After classes William heads down to the lunch room and has a lunch of pizza and burgers. After lunch he heads home on the bus and is greeted by Violette with a huge hug. Then the next day, Bill has a major day at work because he got promoted. In the morning, Bill wakes up and gets ready for work. He takes a shower and gets dressed. Bill has a huge breakfast that contains a 10-pound bowl of oatmeal, 20 Pop-Tarts, 10 bowls of cereal, a gallon of milk, and 20 fudge-dipped waffles with 1 gallon of maple syrup on the side. Bill then heads out to work. Once he arrives at work, he gets out and walks to his cubicle. Bill starts working on his laptop, and he is soon greeted by his boss. Bill is startled. His boss Emma has a surprise for Bill. Emma gives Bill a promotion to the position of manager. He got promoted after working at the office for 18 years. Bill will be getting a $10,000 pay raise from the promotion. Bill gets to go home early because he got a promotion. The next day something huge happens. In the morning the family woke up to something huge. Violette checks out her channel and faints. Bill and William rush in and bring Violette to Bill's chair to sit in. Violette regains alertness. William gives Violette a glass of ice water. Violette tells everyone to follow her. Once Violette shows the boys they freak out with excitement. Everyone is very excited because their channel just reached 1 million subscribers. Everyone settles down, and they call Lucy and Andy and tell them about the news of the channel reaching 1 million subscribers. An hour later Lucy and Andy arrive at the Anderson household. The family has a huge party that lasts until midnight. In the morning after some sleep the family decide they are going to have a movie day. Bill gets a few movies the family wants to watch. Violette gets snacks and some popcorn. She even put a little drop of butter onto the butter. Violette puts a DVD into the DVD player and the family sit down in the living room. As the day goes on, night soon comes. In the morning, William and his parents look for an apartment William will live in. The family gets ready and eats a breakfast of French toast sticks. Violette tells everyone to hop into the Tesla Model S Bill drives, and Violette and William get into the second row. Bill goes to an open house website. He finds an apartment lease. The apartment is about 10 minutes away from the Anderson household. Bill drives to the apartment complex. The family arrived about 15 minutes later due to bad traffic. The family finds a parking spot and they unload from the Tesla. Violette brings everyone to the building. The family walked over to the elevator. They get into the elevator and head up to the 9th floor. They then walk over to apartment 905 and take a tour of the apartment. William says that it is the perfect apartment for him. The parents buy the apartment for him. However, William will pay for the rent. Violette brings everyone back to the Tesla. Bill, Violette and William load up into the Tesla Model S, then the family drive back home to the Anderson household. They then cook up a burger night masterpiece. Bill puts onions in the burgers. William finds out about the onions and screams at Bill. But instead of breaking stuff or burning something, he makes a burger. William tastes it and absolutely adores it. They then watch Home Alone 3 and head to bed. In the morning, William makes a horrible decision. William decides he will be dropping out of college. He spent 3 seconds deciding. So William wakes up in the morning and gets ready for college. He takes the bus, and at the end of the day he goes to the headmaster of the college. William demands that he is dropping out. The headmaster laughs. William states that he will never be returning to the college ever again. William then flips the headmaster's desk over and walks out. William gets driven home, and he breaks the news to his family. William explains that he wants to focus on finding a full-time job, and that college is taking too much time out of his life. Bill roars at William. Violette breaks up the fight before it gets ugly. Violette agrees with William with the decision. About an hour later they get a call from the college. Violette picks up the phone and answers it. The college admins tell Violette that William has been kicked out. Violette asks why. The person on the phone explains what happened when William was in the headmaster's office. Violette hangs up. Violette says that they will be finishing repairs to the house. The family drives out to Home Depot and gets supplies to finish repairing the house. Violette drives them home. Bill cleans out every cupboard in the house. Violette cuts the grass and does some work in the garden. William makes the beds. An hour later the family each grab a broom and sweep the floors. Bill sweeps the kitchen and bathroom. Violette sweeps the office and the living room. William sweeps the upstairs. The family finishes sweeping and they mop the floors. Violette grabs a vacuum and cleans the couch up. Bill makes a pizza for lunch. After lunch, Violette randomly grabs her car keys and drives to the college for no reason. Bill and William get into the truck and follow Violette's Tesla. Violette drives to the college where William used to go. She makes a quick stop at Home Depot and grabs a saw, chainsaw, sledgehammer, steel axe, and a 2x4. Violette pays for everything and she drives off to the college. Violette grabs a shopping cart that she stole from the Home Depot and she throws her equipment into the shopping cart. Bill and William arrive at the college and see that Violette is nowhere to be found. Violette pushes the cart to the headmaster's office and grabs the chainsaw. She saws the headmaster's desk into many pieces. She then grabs the steel hammer and starts breaking the shelves. She grabs the axe and smashes the windows. Violette grabs the metal pole and hurls it at the light switch, causing it to explode. Violette rips books in half and saws a rug in half. Violette then rips the headmaster's laptop into 2 pieces. Bill and William frantically run around the college in an attempt to find Violette. Back in the headmaster's office, the administrators arrive at the office. Violette puts everything into the shopping cart and runs off. William and Bill follow Violette. William manages to put a tracker on Violette's Tesla. Violette throws everything into her Tesla. Bill and William get into Bill's truck. Violette drives off at 50 miles per hour. Bill opens the tracker app and tracks Violette. Then Violette drives New Hampshire. She hides out at a camp. Violette gets a tent and camps out in an unknown location. Bill goes to Home Depot to get chains, rope, and stuff to chain things down. William goes to Target and gets some chips, Pop-Tarts, candy, and some other food in cans. The boys meet back up at the truck and Bill prepares the chains and rope in order to chain down Violette when she is found. Bill and William head to a trailer rental place and rent a trailer. They attach a flatbed to the truck to put Violette's Tesla on. They drive to New Hampshire and find Violette. The boys pick up Violette and chain her so she can't wiggle one bit. Bill drives the Tesla onto the flatbed. The boys get onto the front of the truck and they drive home. Once they are home they unchain Violette and knock her out. Bill drags her into the house and chains her to Bill's chair. Violette wakes up and explains why she ran away and destroyed the headmaster's office. Violette gets unchained. Bill throws the chains and rope away. Violette gets up and walks over to grab the paper towels. William sees the lighter fluid on the kitchen table and knows what Violette is about to do. Violette grabs the lighter fluid and she grabs a lighter. Bill and William try to stop her. The boys are unsuccessful in being able to stop her. Violette drenches the Tesla with lighter fluid. Violette lights the Tesla on fire. She then pours lighter fluid onto the fire. This causes the miniature fire to explode into a gigantic fire. Bill and William get the hose and extinguish the fire. Then the neighbors are forced to call the police because of how dangerous the situation is. Violette gets called over by the police. She explains the whole situation. Violette is taken away by the police. The police end up interrogating Violette. She explains the situation. She explains about destroying the headmaster's office. She explains about how Bill tied her down after she ran away. Violette ends up explaining the entire situation. She tells the police about why she lit the Tesla on fire. Violette is let go with a warning. She then gets a ride home. Bill and William demand that she explain everything that happened. Violette ends up explaining everything. William grabs a DVD of Home Alone 4. The family has a movie night for the finale time. Bill makes lasagna for dinner and the family enjoy their last night together. In the morning, it becomes the day William moves out of the house. Violette and Bill wake up and grab suitcases and boxes. William wakes up and gets ready for the day. All the paperwork for the apartment has been finished. The current tenants have moved out. So all that remains is William moving in and settling. William has a breakfast of cereal and oatmeal. He then packs up his belongings. The moving truck comes and parks. Violette and Bill give William a huge hug. They all then start packing things into the truck. They take a break and have a final lunch together. Everyone is very emotional because it is a huge day for William. Violette packs up the clothes. Bill packs up his bedroom. William helps the movers with some larger furniture. After packing up, the family gives directions to the apartment to the movers. Then everyone heads to the apartment. The family and movers unpack everything and help William with settling in. After moving in, William makes a huge dinner. Violette and Bill sit down and get to enjoy a home-cooked turkey. Violette and Bill savor the meal and head out. Violette and Bill leave William to finish settling in. In the morning, Violette and Bill celebrate when William has finally moved out of the house. Violette and Bill invite Lucy and Andy to the house. The family has a huge party and Violette dances with the family. Bill absolutely devours all the snacks the family laid out for the party. Violette calls William and gets no answer. After the party, Lucy and Andy head home. And a few weeks later, William makes a surprise visit to the Anderson household. William's surprise enters the house and surprises the parents. Bill and Violette freak out and are very excited they got a surprise visit. The family had a movie night watching Home Alone 4. They then swim in the pool and have a party. Bill makes a pizza ziti dinner. The family then head out to William's apartment and have a sleepover. In the morning, the family head back home and have one last party with the entire family before Andy and Lucy go to London for college. Violette prepares by making burgers and pizza. Bill cleans up from yesterday's celebration. William interrogates Violette and Bill. They then admit they had a party without him. William starts crying and screams at his parents. Violette comforts him. Bill apologizes and they forget the party even happened. William goes to the backyard and prepares the pool. Violette finishes cooking the lunch, and the family enjoy a huge lunch of burgers and pizza. Violette helps William with preparing the backyard for the pool party. Bill makes dinner for the party. Violette and William finish in the backyard and go inside. They then finish preparations on the inside of the house. Then a couple hours later, Lucy and Andy arrive at the Anderson household. Bill greets them, and Andy and Lucy enter the house. Violette and William give them a huge hug, and Bill joins the family hug moment. The family then breaks up the hug and starts having a dance party. They dance for 30 minutes straight. After that, they enjoy the dinner of pizza, chips, salad, pasta, breadsticks, cheese pie, and waffles. The family gets their portions of food and they sit down in the living room while watching TV. The family enjoyed a Tom and Jerry movie. After finishing dinner and the movie, everyone changes into their swim costumes. The family jump into the pool and have a wonderful time with a splash fight. Violette sneaks out of the pool and grabs a water squirter. She fills it up with cool water and sprays everyone. This causes everyone to laugh and giggle in excitement. Lucy and Andy hop out of the pool because they need to catch their flight to London, because they are starting college in London in a few days. Everyone changes into their clothes. The family gathers into a family hug and starts crying. The hug and crying lasts for 20 minutes. Soon the bus arrives to pick up Andy and Lucy. They all say their goodbyes. Then Andy and Lucy get on the bus and are driven to the airport. A few weeks later, Violette and Bill call William and tell him that the family is going to have one more family vacation to London. William packs up his stuff and leaves his video game stuff at his apartment. Violette and Bill pack their belongings and arrive at the apartment complex. William drops his stuff in the trunk of Bill's truck and they head off to the airport. The family arrives at the airport and finds a place to park. They unload from the truck and grab their suitcases. Violette leads everyone through check-in and security. And then they find their gate. The family sat down with their carry-ons. A few hours later, everyone gets a snack to eat and use the restroom before boarding. Then they rush back to the gate. The family walk down the jet bridge and find their seats. They sit down, and a few hours later they are served dinner. Bill orders a chicken dinner and absolutely devours his meal in under 2 minutes. Violette and William savor their pasta dinner. Violette and William watch TV, and Bill heads to sleep for the rest of the plane trip. After they land, they get off the plane and collect their luggage. Violette goes to rent a car, and then they load up into the rented SUV. Bill drives everyone to a motel that they will be staying at for 2 nights. Violette gets the room, and requests a portable bed for the room. Soon the family arrives at the room, and unpack their clothes into the clothes. Violet and Bill change into their swimsuits, and William runs down to the pool. The family go and have a fun time in the pool, and then head back to the room. They change into their clothes and Bill makes a lunch of cheese pie. Violet unpacks the other suitcases of food and hygiene supplies, then tucks into a cheese pie lunch. The boys devour their slices. Violet savors her slice. Bill washes the dishes. William loads the dishes up into the dishwashing machine. Violet puts the dishwashing detergent into the dishwashing machine and starts the dishwashing machine. Bill watches sports and William plays on his Nintendo Switch. Violet takes a nap, and Bill rages at the TV because his sports team is losing. Bill ends up freaking out and hurls the remote at the TV. The TV ends up being broken. Bill drags the TV and drops it into the pool and walks back to the room. Violet sleeps through the entire event. The people next door call the manager and soon the manager arrives at the room. William explains what happens. The manager walks out and returns without receipt. Bill will have to pay for a new TV to replace the one he destroyed and drowned in the pool. Violet wakes up as soon as the manager leaves. She wonders what happens and William explains the entire situation. Bill tries to sneak out but gets punched in the face. Bill starts crying and William comforts Bill. A few minutes later they head to bed because it is now midnight. In the morning they wake up and drive off to Lucy's college. Bill and William surprise Lucy, and Violet gives Lucy a huge hug. They have a discussion on how life is going. Soon they do the same to Andy. After that they go back to the room and pack up. They check out and head back to the airport. They go through security and head back home. They collect their suitcases and find Bill's truck. They load up into Bill's truck and drive home. Once they arrive home they unpack and have a movie night. Bill gets a movie and William grabs the popcorn. Violette walks in and is surprised everything is going to plan. After the movie, the family head to bed. In the morning they wake up and head off to William's apartment. After arriving they have lunch and head back to the Anderson household. William watches TV, Bill cooks a turkey for dinner, and Violette mops the ceiling. After dinner Bill and Violette head off to bed. William walks back to his apartment and sleeps. In the morning they wake up and Violette and Bill head to William's apartment. They spend the day there. They play Monopoly and everyone gets along. Bill wins the game, and Bill celebrates. Violette and William congratulate him. Violette wins the game of Chutes and Ladders. William wins the second game of Chutes and Ladders. Bill and Violette tie in a game of Candyland. William wins the game of Monopoly. Then they have a finale of Sorry. A few hours go by and William wins the game. This makes William the winner of board game night. After that they head off to bed, and wake up and eat a big breakfast. They eat eggs, then they have some oatmeal. And they end the break off with cereal bowls. William heads off to his job. He gets a pay raise. The day ends and Violette and Bill head off to bed. Violette wakes up at 8 a.m. and Bill wakes up at 7 a.m. and heads off to his work. After work Bill gets home, and is surprised by William. William has made a surprise visit. Bill hugs William. Violette ends up making a dinner of cheeseburgers, and everyone falls asleep while watching Jungle Cruise. In the morning Bill and William go off to work. They both get a promotion and a pay raise of $3,000. Violette makes dinner and the family have a movie night, and fall asleep. In the morning they wake up and have dinner. A few weeks later, William and Bill and Violette drive off for a day trip to Boston, MA. They arrive and park somewhere. They spend the day walking around. They shop for new things, and look at the city's historic landmarks. Then they head home, and Violette and Bill drop William off at his house. In the morning William takes driving lessons and passes. He then gets his license and buys a brand new car. After that he surprises Violette and Bill with his new Tesla Model 3 and brand new driver's license. The next day Bill and Violette go for a drive in a Williams Tesla Model 3. After they get dropped off home, everything is peaceful. A few days later Bill and Violette arrive at William's apartment for the day, and a few hours later the police arrive and take William away to somewhere and the end sequels coming in 2023.